Hello, everyone, and welcome. Dave Cottingham here with Casey Cooley.
Hello, everybody.
And our guest for the Episode 3 commentary, Anthony Guglielmi.
Anthony Guglielmi, right here.
How are you, man?
I'm good.
Those of you who don't know Anthony at all, because you haven't actually been on our show yet, right? I don't think.
Not this show. I've been on other 21 production shows.
He's on
I
After
was
Gotham.
on After Gotham.
Yeah.
Oh, you were right. You were
and
right.
I
That's
did
right.
all the camera work for After Gotham live
for season 2.
for season 2.
That's right. That's
and
right.
I produced it too.
That's right.
Yeah.
So he's no stranger to this kind of stuff.
Sure.
But we are eager to get you on because you're a huge Star Wars fan.
I am. I
You-
have my Maz t-shirt on.
Yeah, that's huge. A celebration, right?
Yeah, I got this as a celebration. It's got a little celebration thing on the back.
Yes.
Charles wanted me to sell it.
He wants you to sell everything.
I know.
But Anthony, it was one of the guys that went with us to, not with us, but all of us went to Celebration. But he was there when we did our show live
Right.
from Celebration in the stands there, cheering us on.
Yeah.
that was fun.
Moral support.
So
I think
out
you guys
of-
might have had the biggest turnout out of all the or
It was
one of the
pretty-
biggest
it's
turnouts.
pretty good.
out of
I'd
all
say
the
it was one of
podcasts
them.
there.
It was
Yeah.
pretty good. It was very good. We were very happy.
Yes.
So as we dive into episode 3 here, just like our other two podcasts or other two commentaries for episode 1, episode 2, we're going in chronological order. So we're going to start the movie right now and get right into it. So following along, as we keep saying, right around here. Yeah, the movie's going to be right around here. Yeah. All right there.
I can't wait.
So here we go. We're going to go ahead and start up doing the Blu-rays. Doing the Blu-rays from Star Wars, the complete saga.
Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. 20th century. All right. Episode 3, released in 2005. Again, this is part of our journey to Episode 8, The Last Jedi.
Yep.
D23 just happened, actually. We can't talk about that. That's
Yeah.
Listen to our podcast.
Yeah, sorry. I
that.
want to talk about the behind the scenes of episode 8.
It might
I
come
know.
up.
We'll get
Oh,
there.
man.
We'll get him on the show. We'll get Anthony on the show. We'll get him on the show this week. But right away, this came out in 2003, or I'm sorry, 2005. We like to ask everybody that sits in that chair, Anthony, when the movie starts, when did you first see Episode 3?
I saw this in theaters at Lexington Green
Hey.
before it became a mellow mushroom.
Right, yeah.
So I
opening day.
think I was a senior in high school. I think I might have been a senior in high school when it came out. 2005?
Yeah.
Yeah.
May 2005.
Maybe 2005. I was about to graduate high school. Yeah. So
opening night, or you just...
I saw it opening night. Yeah.
Sweet.
So
that
it's
fire
just, I got boogie hair all over me.
Yeah. That's all right.
Doesn't matter what color shirt I wear. He's brown, black, and white. But yeah, I saw it in theaters, and I remember I went to see every single one of them in theaters. I went to go see episode 1 with my dad because he's the one who brought me to all, like, when they rebooted them, not rebooted them, but they re-released them into theaters. Like, he brought me to my first Star Wars in theaters. He brought me to my first, or he bought me the first VHS versions of
Yes.
episode 4 through 6. And then he brought me to episode 1. And I think he may have been a little disappointed. But yeah, so then I saw episode 2 and episode 3. And so I think I'm the lucky one of the prequels because I get to watch the best one.
Well, this is one of the
That's
best
right.
opening shots, I guess, of the whole saga right here. This is
Absolutely. Now, this is a very long shot.
Yeah.
Because it's one shot throughout till pretty much right when they get
Just
to
like
the
a
Grievous ship, right?
casual fly through space. Oh, this is cool. This is nice.
Yeah. Now I
Just
remember
going
this. What I
around.
specifically remember about this, I
See
went
the scene
to
here.
Celebration 3.
what's on the
It was my
side?
first celebration,
Okay.
which was April of 2005. It was a month before this came out.
Yeah.
Because back then, Celebration 1, 2, and 3 were celebrating the release of the next movie, right? So this was in Indianapolis, and I remember going up and waiting in line and going to see stuff. And again, if you think about Celebration now, I'm talking there's probably maybe a fifth of the people.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I
it was
bet.
very small.
I wonder if it went down. Like, I wonder if the first one was big.
First one was pretty popular. First one was
Yeah.
in Denver. It was okay, but it wasn't put on by Lucasfilm and all that. But anyway, they showed this opening scene. they released, like, if you got in the room, which I got in the room, they showed the first shot. They showed it up until they crashed onto the ship.
Yeah.
And it was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, when the video game came out of this game, my buddy Adam and he bought the game. I was at his house, and we were just stoked to play it. And then this opening scene opened the game.
It
so
does.
we were so surprised. Like, we're watching the movie right now.
Exactly.
This is insane. Like, 'cause
Yes,
the game came out
you're right.
before the movie.
Yes.
And so, which actually is kind of strange. I feel like putting the game out before the movie. But anyways, the book had been out. I read the book and, playing the game too before the movie came out. But it was cool and had other intercut scenes from the film. So it was just incredible to.
So wait, Revenge of the Sith book came out before the movie?
It did.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
didn't
it's
it
strange.
just like
It's
spoil the entire movie?
Pretty much.
Pretty much
Yeah.
it does.
I mean,
Yeah.
the story, everybody kind of knew the story anyways, I feel like. But no, it definitely did.
But
like,
they did
all the
what
little
they did that with
scenes.
each
spoiler
prequel.
alert.
Yeah.
Each prequel they did that. Each prequel they
Yeah.
did that.
But no, it's not like now, where it comes out the same day, if not a day or so
If
later
not after,
sometimes.
yeah.
But this was the first movie where I can remember where I was like really involved in I guess it wasn't viral marketing even really before this, but viral marketing wasn't like a huge thing.
No.
I feel like, but this was like maybe the first ones where it got big. I don't know.
Well, viral marketing really kicked off, this is a complete side note, when
Yeah.
Blair Witch went out.
True.
In
Okay,
2000-ish,
true.
around
Yeah.
2000. So, but no, there was still, internet was still very young.
Yeah.
It was, there was Hyperspace Club, if you were a part of
Yes,
that,
yeah.
StarWars.com.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of behind the scenes
Yeah.
footage if you watch that. But I got to say, like, especially with this scene here, you can see as we do these commentaries too, also, you can see even then, the progression of graphics.
Yeah.
The quality of the CG.
And just the advancement of how it's
Advanced-
quote unquote shot.
Correct.
Even if it's all CG, it's still shot with angles, composition, all that stuff. That's getting more complex. I feel like.
It's
obviously.
very. I mean, look at that. I mean,
Yeah.
that is crazy.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I don't give Lucas enough credit for when it comes to how he did all these movies on green. Mm-hmm. And like the shadows on like Anakin's
yes.
face and Obi-Wan's face, like
light
he has to know in his head what is
Yeah.
there already.
Correct.
In order to create that shadow realistically and practically
Yeah.
before it gets mastered.
Yes, and I failed to mention that he is a cinematographer. That's why he's pointing stuff out like that.
That's probably going to be my main concentration of this whole
Yeah,
podcast.
totally.
So
But that's a very good point, though, that people don't recognize the difficulty of shooting.
right. I mean,
that space.
Was it? I always forget his first name. Kaminsky, Spielberg cinematographer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was the first one to really like do it with Jurassic Park.
Right,
You know,
correct.
like he was the first person to really like master lighting for what was not there. Mm-hmm. But this is probably the best lit movie I think of all
I would
the
agree with that.
prequels.
I would
Because
say that.
I feel like 1 and 2.
Oh, the prequels for sure.
It's too low key. Or no, I'm sorry, it's too high key. So it's very bright and in
Yeah.
your face like a sitcom.
Yeah.
yeah.
And this one, like, it just it feels darker.
It's got a darker feel to it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right. And I
Totally.
think that the other two could have had a darker feel to them without going too much to that side. But this one definitely is a lot darker, especially, I mean, we're going to get to it in a minute when the first scene with Padme.
Right.
That's probably, like, one of my favorite lit scenes in this movie.
Oh, when he first sees her coming off the.
Yeah, she's just kind of glowing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. They just kind of glamorize her a lot more in this one.
But you want to talk about, episode 1, you had them arriving, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon arriving on the Trade Federation ship,
Yeah.
and them attacking droids. You had episode 2, you had Padme arriving on Coruscant, it exploding. But you want to talk about getting right into the movie. Like,
Yeah.
this does it better than I think any of the movies.
Oh, it jumps right in.
Any of the movies. And this is a nonstop. To me, I feel like this is pretty. I mean, there's a point where we'll get to where it's really about Anakin's story in this,
Yeah.
which that's the only kind of slow part of this movie. Other than that, there's constant battling, constant action.
You good?
I think that's a downside a little bit in some scenes, but I'll bring that up when we get to them.
Yeah,
I think some scenes should be elongated a little bit. They don't have
Yeah.
to be as quick.
But see, a lot of people complained about episode 2 because they did that, right? But
right, and I can understand that because there wasn't purpose behind it. But this one, you need Anakin's like anger to come out more, and I feel like you could do that by stretching the scenes a little bit. I'll bring it up in a minute when it actually happens. But.
So, my next point was Grievous.
Yeah.
The first time we hear or see Grievous, thoughts on this kind of villain that was introduced.
I don't know how I feel about Grievous. I mean, he looks cool as hell. Mm-hmm. But I feel like he's... I mean, not to go to another franchise, but like... kind of how like a little cheesy.
Yeah.
Like, he does these like cheesy one-liners. Like I feel like he's a Jabba replacement.
He's a Jabba?
I feel like he like I don't know.
Yeah. I haven't heard that comparison. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he's kind of I mean, he's obviously like not as he's obviously more one-sided than Jabba. Jabba's wherever the money is.
Right.
But like the attitude. Does that make
Interesting.
sense? I mean, like he just kind of he seems a little more goofy than he should.
I kind of feel like, and this is going to be part of my later question and points that I bring up every one of these commentaries is how your perception has changed. Now you're not so much as much as we are, but reading all the novels and all the and the books and stuff like that.
Right.
But that kind of stuff changes the viewpoints of some of these scenes and some of these characters. Because, for example, like right now, I'm in the middle of Dark Disciple.
Yeah.
It's dark right there, Dark Disciple.
Right.
And it's about Asajj Ventress and Quinlan Vos, but there's other characters obviously in there. It's the middle of it's after episode 2 and before episode 3, and it's during the Clone War stuff. But there's talks in there about there's scenes in there with Grievous and with Dooku, and I'm telling you, in the way Dooku is viewed, which I'm going to get to that too, in this book, really changes. I mean, really changes
Interesting.
how he's
Yeah.
the reason he was chosen
Yeah.
to be that character. Because remember in episode 2, the commentary, I brought up the fact that the character of Dooku struggled between either introducing a woman
Yeah.
in that role or Count Dooku, or a male, and he went with Dooku. And the reason in Dark Disciple really kind of solidifies that for me. Is really neat. But anyway, getting to this and Grievous, I kind of feel like, in a sense, that Grievous was chosen, and this is going to sound weird, but because Obi-Wan has to kill him. And being a person, it's because the Dark Disciple book really hits on the assassination murder
Yeah.
word that the Jedi don't feel like they should do. Like they feel like killing Dooku is murder.
Yeah.
Right.
And that they shouldn't do that.
Right.
And so I feel like, when they send Obi-Wan to kill Grievous, it's like, if that was a person, I don't think they would do that.
Sure.
So I almost feel like Lucas had to come up with a droid hybrid, a droid, so that he can easily be destroyed.
Sure.
And honestly, a lot of that's coming from that book, which is weird. That book is really, really good. I really want to talk to Chrissy Golden, to be honest, because there's a lot in there that is really changing the way it changes. I'll tell you what, it completely changed my way I think about Asajj Ventress. She's like one of my favorite characters now.
Cool.
Completely. It's crazy.
Cool.
Full review coming in one of our podcasts, I promise.
No, but for Grievous,
The only
for me,
thing sorry, go ahead.
let's say like Grievous and there's other points kind of attached to this where when I first saw him, he's like coughing and the way he talks, all that kind of stuff, and I think a little bit it just catches you off guard slightly that he does come across as kind of comical a little bit, and then other areas of the film that started early on to this point where like the battle droids kind of do a few little comical things. And
The Rogers?
Well, yeah,
That's what Cody's nephew calls them. So I started calling them that.
like how you've never heard the super battle droids talk until now, and then the regular battle droids didn't talk too much. Where besides saying Roger, Roger. But now they're kind of doing they're kind of witty. They have little comedic quips about themselves. Like it comes across as kind of weird, different, because you never heard those jokes coming from those characters, so it's kind of strange. But
so this is where I think this scene starts to take a downfall.
Oh, he should be tore up.
Well, he should be tore up, but Obi-Wan should be awake for this. He should be incapacitated, but he should be awake so he can view Anakin struggle.
That's true.
And so he begins to mistrust Anakin right here. I think you start that right here.
But he will never. What do you mean? But because Obi-Wan never is going to mistrust Anakin, though. What do you mean by
not mistrust, but like maybe mistrust is the wrong word.
But just notice that something might be up a little bit.
Just be weary of him.
Because this is another. Again, I hate to bring the book up again.
Well, and then this. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No.
But this was too quick.
Yeah. Well,
Anakin should be struggling right now.
Okay.
Like you can see it here.
He's struggling.
He is struggling, but I feel like this battle.
He even says he should. He even said. He shouldn't.
You just want to be more.
Right, he does.
You just want to see more.
But it's just.
Yeah.
Which I think also, as you were talking about with Dooku,
Yeah.
I think this weakens his character.
No,
Just it being this quick.
Very, very, very true. Now, okay, so I agree with that, and I disagree. Again, my perception of that whole scene has changed based on Dark Disciple.
Okay.
Jeez.
And I hate to say spoilers because I am going to talk about one part of Disciple that is not really a spoiler because I'm only halfway through the book. But in order to Quinlan Vos, the book's about basically Quinlan Vos being ordered by the Jedi Council to assassinate Count Dooku.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And they suggest you need to get Asajj Ventress to help you. You can't do it by yourself. Asajj wants to kill him too. Go get him. So anyway, long story short, Asajj does not believe he is capable as a Jedi to kill Dooku. The only way to do it is you have to tap into the dark side. So she trains him to use his anger and use his fear and become more powerful just in that moment. And then he doesn't allow himself to completely fall, and so he's able to let it go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in my mind, my perception, I don't know if this is Lucas's intention fully, but I feel like when Obi-Wan kills Maul, he is like tapping into the dark side a little bit because you think about it. When did things change?
Yeah.
When Qui-Gon got killed.
Yeah.
Right there.
Now,
Think about this.
With the last season of Rebels coming out, do you think that that's going to allude to why Obi-Wan goes to Hermit?
It's
into
possible.
Hermit mode?
I mean, you mean because of what? Because
he's tapped into the dark side and he's kind of frightened himself.
Well, he goes in the Hermit to watch over Luke and kind of go into hiding, but he's definitely training himself to be better. That's why I think by the time Maul does come around, he's able to actually defeat him. But by that point, Maul is
Hopefully
like
they'll save that for a movie.
Yes,
Obi-Wan movie.
but at that point, Maul is like not even the same person. Anyway,
right.
But think about it. Right there,
Yeah.
Anakin wasn't effective until he saw Obi-Wan get hurt and nearly possibly die, and he taps into that anger,
Right.
Yeah.
and charges and defeats him that quickly.
See, and I also think that, just real quick, I also think that if Obi-Wan was awake there, and he and Palpatine were kind of like in like the angel devil on Anakin's shoulders in that scene, like kill him, don't kill him, kill him, don't kill him. It also allows Obi-Wan to start getting skeptical of Palpatine that much earlier.
Well,
and then,
in my opinion, there's no way he could have done that. Palpatine would not have said that if Obi-Wan had been, you know what I mean? Because like that would have completely like revealed him in a
you
sense.
could do it where they both don't know that maybe he comes back to consciousness, like right towards that part.
Right. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Maybe.
More to your point, Dave, because we talked about this, I think, the other day. But even when Luke went after Vader,
correct. Right. Think about that. Yes.
For a while, people have talked about. That's always been a conversation where people
did he tap into the dark side?
Yeah, that was always a for years it's been a conversation. But
And also, there's there's rumors or feelings that Mace did the same thing against Sidious because he does, right?
That's his style.
He's able
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering because later on, it's Mace, it's Windu's downfall,
I know.
not being able to murder, not being able.
Well, he was
Maybe-
going to.
Maybe the Grey Jedi is the way.
Oh,
He was
gosh.
going to. He was going
Have
to
they
kill him.
announced that as canon?
Not
Grey
No.
Jedi
directly.
They
Not
haven't?
directly.
There's a grace. There's somewhat of
They're going to
There's
as
a
soon as
belief
that
that there's a
movie comes
grace
out.
side of the Force, but not great Jedi.
I think
so.
Obi or
Luke.
Qui-Gon's the first.
Oh, great. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. But like
That's another thing. I don't know why Grievous is coughing.
Well,
Does he
that's-
need oil?
That was a whole. That was a Lucas thing.
yeah.
They
humanize him, maybe?
No, the animators. It was just a complete side note. The animators threw that in there because at the time there was a big long stretch when they were making the movie that George was coughing a lot. So they just threw that in there for his character.
There was an
egg.
explanation.
That really was
There was
it.
an explanation before the canon kind of got nixed.
Yes.
Where he got in a fight with Mace Windu, and Mace Windu damaged him, and so he has a long-lasting cough now. So
That's no
down
longer
his
canon.
yeah, so
So yeah.
but in this scene as well, kind of going back to what I said before about like how he handed or the droid was handing him a lightsaber, and Grievous snuck it out of his hand. Droid said, "You're welcome."
Yeah.
Like it's just like, comedy like that in Star Wars. I feel like you don't get too often. Maybe I'm wrong, but so little things like that were kind of off-putting for like a split second, and just little things I saw
Yeah.
when I
Can I
first
just
watched
stop
the
to
movie.
mention how much of a badass R2D2 is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
Like you don't
Totally.
really see it in 4, 5, and 6.
on my shirt today.
Yeah, you,
He's
I mean you
so,
see it, but he is the hero.
He's undervalued
Of
in the stories. He's
Yeah.
just like he's just a droid. No,
These
this-
guys don't really put up. I mean, they're okay, but they were a lot more threatening in the Clone Wars series
Yeah.
than in this scene.
Well,
how is that guy fighting with his head off?
And like Grievous and Dooku, they're all like Dooku in the movies gets such a short end of the stick, but the Clone Wars makes him much more of a villain. Way
Yes,
more of
very
a villain.
mu- very
And,
much
like,
so.
That's one like Cody. One of his arguments, he doesn't like Dooku as much as a villain. As he's portrayed in the films, no, he's not really a good villain. But overall, of course, when you consider every part of Star Wars, he's a great villain. He's very formidable, very scary. But in the films, he's
And that's very true.
Speaking of the
Clone
books,
Wars-
do we ever find out why his lightsaber is crooked?
No,
Whose?
his hilt.
Dooku's.
Why his hilt?
The
is-
hilt?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
it's
just like-
It's just his
different.
style.
It's just his style.
Yeah.
It's
I
more
guess.
ergonomically correct.
No, what we haven't seen, which I would like to see, is like Dooku as a Jedi, and I wonder if his hilt was. I can't imagine he had the same style hilt because
I
he's
don't think
supposed to
so.
go and find a new one.
That's right.
And when he becomes a Sith, so we'll
And again, perception. I think you do have to watch. I mean, not have to, I guess, but you should watch the Clone Wars series because exactly right. You get more character backgrounds of Grievous, of Dooku, because in the Clone Wars, I mean, Grievous is part of the Clone Wars right at the beginning. I mean, he's not just here at the end. Like, I mean, he's been around for a while. These guys have faced him all this time for over a couple years, So
I'm working my way through the series now. I've seen the animated movie
yeah.
because I was told to watch that first.
correct. That's
and then watch the series.
yeah. I mean, that's how it came out.
Yeah.
Even though chronologically they actually moved the series,
gosh.
the movie, a couple episodes
Yeah,
in.
Okay.
the episodes are
The episodes are
Yeah.
there's the
First
first,
couple
3
seasons,
seasons
yeah.
are like they're mixed a little bit. You can get the
So
chronological
strange.
order online
Okay.
if you want to watch it in order.
you want
Okay.
the tediousness of going through.
But you want to watch it how we
episodes,
watched
yeah.
it. You can just
Yeah.
watch it
Oh, it's
how it
fantastic.
is,
Yeah.
but
That's a
it's
great
awesome.
show.
I want to go back and watch
I
more of
definitely
it,
need to
but
do that.
Yeah.
I don't do much
I
of that
need
with
to
shows.
go between that and I mean, I just started Rebels,
Yeah.
so
Rebels
because I
is
found out how to watch it on Netflix.
yeah.
So
Is Rebels on Netflix now?
It's
it
on,
is if you
Canada Netflix, right?
fiddle around a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not illegal.
do a-
You just it's
do a little digging.
You gotta do a VPN. You gotta do a virtual private network and tell it like that you're in like Sweden or something.
Got
And
it.
then the Sweden version of Netflix has Rebels.
Crazy. Well, there
You're
you
welcome.
go. There you go.
You're welcome, everybody. Netflix is coming after me now.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
This will be taken down immediately.
Yeah, it will be tomorrow.
No, but so that now that we don't have Dooku anymore in the series in the movies, but like I was saying, my perception of him and the reasoning he was there is really solidified now with that book, and I think with me even more because it's true. I think Clone Wars did a really good job of making Dooku out to be. I mean, he's the villain, obviously, but the thing about it is I mean, people that were following him and were on the side of the Confederacy of Independent Systems, like they truly believed that he wasn't corrupt, that he was truly telling them that. That's the funny thing. We talk about point of view, which we'll bring it up. He was telling them the truth that the Senate is corrupt. Yeah, the government is corrupt.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it was.
We need to form. I mean, he was telling them the truth without them knowing the actual full truth. But
I say that for us, someone that's
so you
an
needed
amazing pilot.
There's the
Anakin
Falcon.
sure
there's the
had-
Falcon. Yeah.
Bottom right.
See it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but if you look at it, you needed that older, distinguished person to be the face of that person that they followed. You know what I mean? So that's why, in the end, it probably wasn't going to be a younger woman like Asajj or something like that. That was going to be that Sith person. Anyway.
Right. I think that's a struggle with the making of this movie too, is that everybody knows what's going to happen.
Sure.
So how do you make that interesting?
And that's such a good point because while watching these movies when they first came out, I always thought like, oh, I know what the twist is. Then like the average viewer probably doesn't know that Palpatine is Sidious, which becomes the Emperor. Like I feel like
they
that
don't try and hide it.
They don't, and like that's when I was a kid growing up watching these movies. I always thought that was like the twist, but I just knew what it was. But yeah, going back and watching it and how it's shot and little nuances.
There's Jar Jar.
It's not
my theory that he's evil is right there
the whole time, But it's not covered at all. And David and I were talking before the show about the teasers and the trailers for these movies. This movie when it first came out, like the first teaser straight up basically reveals that he's Sidious or he's a Sith. He's a bad guy. Yeah. So it's not even the marketing. It's not hidden. So I just don't know if there was ever considered to be a crazy reveal through this whole prequels. Like, well, like you said, everybody knew the story of the prequels. So kind of rhetorical, somewhat of a question, but then why would you make these stories? Why would you watch these movies if you knew exactly what was going to happen before you even watched it? And then like, just kind of like for me, probably for many others, it's the action, it's the drama, it's actually seeing the tragic downfall of Anakin. Like, I don't know, like there's a lot of great moments of it, but there is no story reveal like there was with the original movies.
Right.
Like there is with the next trilogy that we're getting, the sequel trilogy. So,
but if you didn't watch the trailers, if you had never seen a Star Wars movie and just watched 1, 2, and 3, would it be a reveal?
Maybe if, as a young kid, probably wouldn't get it because again, it is shot like we said in episode 1. And we've said it several times on the show that the last shot, one of the last shots of the movie when they're at Qui-Gon's funeral, and they said, there's always two Sith, master and apprentice, and Mace says, which one's destroyed, the master or the apprentice? And so then it pans right to a close up of Palpatine right after he says it. It's basically saying like, oh, he's a part of it. He's the master of this Sith duo, and if you are an observant watcher when you see these movies, you should immediately make that connection. I feel like maybe, I don't know, hindsight, maybe it's too obvious, but when I was watching it for the first time, I never caught it. But again, I was a kid, so.
Well, I wasn't a kid when I watched it for the first time. It took me about 3 showings to notice, to be honest, because I was I mean, I knew.
Sure, yeah, I knew too. But
I knew,
yeah,
but I didn't realize the shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how revealing the shot was
until I really started. It was hidden.
Correct.
I feel like as soon as I saw it in the theater, like I was just like, well, they're not trying to hide this at all.
Yeah. If you're observant watcher, you should catch it. Right. And like growing up, and the girlfriend I had at the time, she hadn't seen these movies, and so we were watching them together, and I was like so excited, like, oh, I wonder if she's gonna like this twist of who Sidious is gonna be so revealing, and then she's like, is that guy? I think that guy's the Sidious guy.
So he just found out she's pregnant, right?
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Right.
Well, she told him. He took it very well. Good job, Anakin.
Yeah, she's trying to trap you.
But no, but yeah. So it's not much. But you can figure it out at the first movie. You can figure it out in the second movie. I mean, it's pretty.
Because in this movie, the reveal, and actually I was looking through the scene selection. Excuse me. The actual scene selection title is Sidious Revealed, and that's when he reveals himself to Anakin. When
I'll have to see what point in the film at the time when that actually happens, because usually big reveals like that don't happen to the very end. So.
This is like halfway through the movie.
Yeah, halfway. So you still got an hour or so.
Correct. Because you have to have everything play out after the fall of Jedi. Now, I'll tell you what was revealed to me quickly is, I think what I didn't know going in, to be honest, was, and I got it on my notes to talk about later, but how everything turned so bad. Like, according to this right now, I mean, they're winning the war. The Jedi and the clones are winning the war. How all of a sudden do the clones become the enemy? Right?
Right.
Like, Order 66 is what I'm talking about.
Yes.
No one knew about Order 66. And they kept that out of the marketing.
True. Yeah.
They never said anything like that, right? And in the marketing, too, you didn't really see clones killing Jedi. Right? You just see the battle, and you see Anakin falling, and you see him. There is a shot of him marching on the... But again, he's marching with clones, so it's like, what happens?
Yeah.
That's the reveal.
And
that how things play out, really. That's really how...
Yeah.
The only thing you can do. But again, Obi-Wan doesn't die. Yoda doesn't die.
Right.
Everybody else will die.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
well, that goes back.
that's the hard thing about doing prequels, because
the Titanic's going to sink, but you don't know Leo's going with it.
You don't,
right?
Very much
That's
so.
good.
There's Rose. Rose survives because she's in the future.
Yeah.
But
Right.
But that goes back to my point with the first commentary. What's that?
This is, I think me and you disagree about this part. But this is the scene where I have talked to you about how I think that they made her look so
awful.
ugly here. I don't think,
That's because she's pregnant, dude. How dare you?
I think she looks great.
From the,
I got a pregnant wife. She's
excuse
beautiful.
my language, but maybe from the neck down. I just I don't know. She's just I don't know. Maybe it's just because she's angry at him.
Hayden's taking up all the
then she's
all
smiling.
the beautifuln's in the whole scene.
She's not angry.
I know, but that
they're
face was
crushing
just
on
like
each other right there.
Well, yeah. Well, anyways.
Is that the first dissolve we see like that?
No, they've done that in other movies before. Yeah.
So this is when he this is
His visions start coming in.
No, the first commentary we did with Corey in episode 1, I kind of brought up the idea of in these movies, I feel like as a fan you have certain checkpoints or checklists that you want to see met.
Right.
And especially for prequels, you want to see, they got to show this, they got to show this, we got to see a lightsaber battle, we got to see space battle, we got to see this, or also story plot lines. Like in episode 2, it's we got to see the Clone Wars. That's my checkbox that needs to be met with these movies. I got to see what the Clone Wars were all about. I got to see how the clones are created, who are the clones, that kind of thing. In this movie, really all the prequels, some of the checkpoints, I feel like, are those questions that need to be answered. How did the clones become stormtroopers? How did how come no one remembers C-3PO and R2-D2? Those kind of little questions. How did everybody get to those places where they are, where we see them in episode 4? How did Luke get to Tatooine? How did this happen? How did Leia get to Alderaan? Those are the check boxes that you want to see met. And yeah, I do agree. You basically answered my question. And yeah, so what is the reveal? I think the clones, or how everything twists like that. That is a reveal, and that is a good plot point in the story that answers it. But that is also that's just one of those big check boxes that we've been waiting for all 3 movies, is to see how that happened. Just how does Padme die? How does this happen? So
to me also, I was about to say Padme. I didn't think she was going to die, only because of the line in episode 6.
Oh, right.
Because I felt like she had to take Leia, because Leia remembered parts of her, right?
Yeah, Luke asks her, "What do you remember of your real mother?"
Yes.
And she says,
images, really feelings. She was very beautiful. She died when I was very young. I'm thinking, well, that means Luke goes to Tatooine, and somehow, maybe she gets a, I don't know.
She stays with it for a little bit.
She has complications a little bit, and then, but I thought she was going to
true.
survive episode 3. So when she died, the whole thing about episode 6 started coming in.
How does
What
she
do you
remember?
mean? How does she remember?
And we can talk about that.
She survives. she goes into hiding with Leia for a
Correct.
little bit, and then Vader finds her.
Or maybe something like that.
Maybe, or eventually just dies and hands over to Bail,
Yeah.
Leia, and
Well, when at the very end of the film, when the birth scene happens, we'll talk about that again there. But like, then people keep saying, "Oh, she was images through the Force." That's kind of one thing. Is one of the theories coming around was like, "Oh, it's just she has such a strong connection in the Force, especially with her mother, so the Force kind of gave her those memories."
Because didn't she know it right when Han got it too?
Oh, it felt like
Yes.
yeah.
She had a feeling right then and
Right.
there.
So
yeah, that's the theory.
she's
Is that
very-
Leia has the deep feelings, has premonition ability
Yeah.
that most Force users don't. I love this scene, by the way. I think
Yeah.
this is incredibly lit and
Oh
shot.
yeah, this is one of the best
Love it.
ones.
But Leia, but again, I want to see it because apparently Leia's eyes open
The baby.
as the baby.
Luke has his eyes closed.
Luke has his eyes closed. Leia
Leia
opens
has
her
open
eyes.
So
Okay.
that's kinda-
I forgot to actually look at that ever since I've heard that. So
Yeah, that's kinda
we
the
gotta
theory
figure that
of-
out. Yeah, so she does see her.
yeah.
Very beautiful, kind but sad, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
She's bawling her eyes out.
So I don't really remember Puppet Yoda, but I've heard that like he's. I just everybody
In episode
just
1?
like it looks absolutely.
episode
terrible.
1 Puppet
Yeah.
Yoda. Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
That
So
was
which is so
horrible.
disappointing
But
because they didn't
oh,
go to
God.
Henson again,
They did.
did they?
Yeah, they did.
They went to Brian
No, they did.
because Jim had passed.
Jim
that
has
point,
by
right?
episode 1. I don't think by
I think
episode
so.
1.
What was that 1999?
99. Well, they shot in 97, but
Okay,
I think
maybe he didn't
Henson
pass. I don't know.
still
I don't
did
know
it.
when.
But the puppet was completely different, though.
Your job to find out.
It was horrible. It was horribly done.
Yeah.
I mean,
But now
Frank
it's-
Oz.
maybe-
Frank Oz still did it,
No,
but
it doesn't.
Right, but I mean, he
exist
doesn't
anymore.
control the look.
and
of the
he
puppet,
mentions Voss here.
Quinlan Voss is the first canon.
First canon mention of Quinlan
which is
Voss.
really exciting. I was like Earth.
But these are the scenes I'm talking about where we start getting. So we really start.
It's too dark.
Another topic I wanted to kind of talk about was we're really getting into fully where the big topic of point of view comes into Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
We get a lot of it during episode 6. That's why it's so brilliantly put together in my mind. In episode 6, when Obi-Wan is, Force Ghost Obi-Wan is talking to Luke about, you told me Vader murdered my father. And he's like, well, he did in a certain point of view, right?
Point
Yeah.
of view.
It's like this whole point of view thing comes up, but it truly is about point of views in Star Wars. And Anakin here, you do understand. A lot of people are saying like, well, we never had to see Vader's backstory. I didn't want to. It takes away from his fierceness and villainy to see the person and learn. But to me, it's like you got to understand how his perception of this whole situation is skewed by obviously from Palpatine for one, and then of course the Council for the other, because they're asking him to do things that they shouldn't be asking.
Yeah.
Palpatine is, slowly feeding things in his mind that
Right.
the Jedi are evil and that all this. And in the end, he does have that perception and is the reason why he turns. I mean, the ultimate reason is Padme. He's trying to save her life. But his perception of the Jedi are evil is true to him. You know what I mean? So I think they do a good job. He does a great job these next few scenes of really starting to shake that view as they keep asking him to do things that he shouldn't be doing. So
Well, it's a really interesting perception of. Like, I read an article. It's probably right around the time that I decided that to agree with the theory that Jar Jar was evil, but Jar Jar Snoke. But seriously, that all three trilogies are about anti-establishment, because these three, the first ones that came out were obviously about anti-establishment with the Empire. Right. They were battling this evil empire that was controlling everything, that people were fearful of it, and people aren't necessarily fearful of the Jedis. They might be. I mean, they should be, but the council and their control and the way they what's the word? The way that they domineer over the Senate and over the society, and then the Sith are the ones battling that establishment and trying to take that down.
Right.
And so really, it's not really any different than Luke taking on the Empire.
Very much. Very true. Yeah. No, I like that. Now, Casey, I just thought of this, but you can be... Yeah, that's right. Never mind. Because Qui-Gon was a Jedi Master, right?
Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking... Because Quinlan Voss is actually a Jedi Master, but he's not on the council. I thought you can be a master and not be on the council.
Yeah.
Right.
But according to Anakin, you can't be on the council and not be a master.
That's right. That's right. Anyway, but like this, this is one of my favorite scenes here. Honestly, I think Obi-Wan. First off, Ewan McGregor is Obi-Wan Kenobi. He has been phenomenal. I think
bring
in all
him
three of
back.
these movies. They will. I promise.
I know they
will.
need to.
Now
And
they-
he wants to.
Yeah, totally.
They're just waiting.
There was
a little bit.
there was a lot of people that were thinking there was going to be some kind of announcement
That's what
at
I thought.
D23, but
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was going to happen at Celebration.
Yeah.
yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
I did too. But in this scene, I really do feel like Ewan just knocks it out of the park in a sense that he is really struggling with asking Anakin to do this,
Yeah.
to spy on, to go against Palpatine, but he's trying to convince him that there's something not right, you know. And Obi-Wan, I mean, we keep talking about this too.
McGregor
he
is
goes
the best
down.
actor in this movie
He is.
by far. I don't know. I think he also has the best lines, but like I feel like Lucas already knew him, so he wrote him better.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can go with that.
So
I can go with that. But Obi-Wan as the character, Obi-Wan the character is arguably one of the greatest Jedi ever, if not the. I mean, it's like he is so powerful, so good,
I think in that,
and he always does the right thing. You know.
yeah, part of that going kind of into the lore of it all. Obi-Wan's he's just so connected. He's just so faithful to the Force and so willing to accept it, especially how we saw him in Rebels.
Right.
That really explained a lot of how he just has been. He's so attuned to it, so one with it, and that's why he's almost untouchable.
Well, yeah. I mean, at the beginning of the movie, it starts with that where he's so humble.
yeah,
It's where he tells Anakin like, "No, you have your spotlight. You need it. Like, I don't need it."
yeah. In the book,
Like he was trying to give him credit, but at the same time, he was like, "I don't
Yeah.
like." There's no reason for a
You're the
Jedi
hot
to
young
claim
boy.
victory
Go do
or
it.
like
I'm
to
no man.
to gloat.
Yeah, in the book, before he got into a big battle, especially one with Grievous towards the middle of the movie, like how it's just written where Obi-Wan, before he jumps down there, he just really, I don't know how to even describe it. Like it's kind of a weird way to describe it, but he just absorbs a lot of the power, or he just becomes so attuned to the Force. He just gets so centered right before he engages in battle. Like he just.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right.
That's why he's so good. Because he's
even
so
with Maul, he doesn't
he's the
really. He never really. I don't know. I never really got a sense that it was hate going after Maul after Qui-Gon. I just got a sense of Maul's going to kill me if I don't battle him right now.
Well,
it was never hate.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is that
Well, it doesn't have to be hate. It could be any kind of fear
Well,
of
fear,
dying,
it's-
anger.
yeah,
You know,
it's just
it could be
okay.
any of those emotions that tap into the dark side.
revenge or anything like that.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, exactly.
and maybe that's why he takes a step back in
Yeah.
2 and 3
possibly, yeah.
because he
Reverts a little
scares
bit.
himself after Maul.
Maybe.
Well, and I have to watch Clone Wars to really see if I'm telling the truth here, but just kind of comparing his expressions, like in that fight, he has what could be an angry expression when he fights Maul, but like you see his battles later on, like his battle with Dooku's battle with probably Maul again in Clone Wars, I can't remember, but his battle with Maul in Rebels, his battle with Vader, like his just way he carries himself in those other fights is way different than it was with Maul in episode 1. So I do feel like at that point in his life, he was like Anakin, such a younger, more brash kind of guy. But since then, he has become
That
more
was his turning
centered.
point.
Yeah, it probably was. He was much more centered, much more attuned to what the Force really is instead of, so maybe would he have done that fight differently? Had he done it again, I don't know, but he won, so maybe not.
I don't know.
Yeah, but just think he didn't it felt like he was just a light side Jedi when he fought Dooku in Episode 2, and look what happened.
Yeah.
He basically got beat. Anakin didn't even know anything. He's so undertrained at that point. Got defeated. Yoda, they toe to toe. I mean, they basically it was a draw until Dooku had to threaten.
Which is
to
another
life.
reason why I think that it's a bunch of bull that scene doesn't last longer. Anakin can just
Oh, that one.
Anakin Dooku.
yeah, it's just
But that's the
over.
th-
But
that- but that-
Yoda struggles with them, and then Anakin just
I mean,
that's it.
debatable. Yeah,
Well,
it
I
is a
don't know.
conversation. Like,
Can I also say that Anakin and Padme are not even trying to hide anything?
What? They're
their relationship.
oh.
They were behind that column. No one saw them
Yeah.
there.
But I think Obi-Wan knows. I mean,
He obviously knows. Yeah, but
I
I
don't know if anybody else really does.
I feel like that could have been a point of contention too, like with Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Might have confronted
it
him a
would
little
have
bit.
been like a harmless squabble. Like you cannot do this.
I would like to have seen something like that where he might have confronted Anakin earlier, or just asked him about it. That would have been.
But see, that's
Interesting.
Watching the Clone Wars, you get Obi-Wan's side because Obi-Wan has a relationship,
Yeah,
brewing
he
in
had
that.
a history. Yeah,
and he had he on his side
Ray's
of
mother,
it.
perhaps.
that's that's a
Not
thing.
mother.
Grandmother.
Wow, yeah. If Satine ends up being her grandmother, I guess so. No,
Nuts.
but no, you get his point of view. Again, point of view. You get his point of view of how to deal with a relationship, and again, he chooses the
Yeah.
path of the Jedi, right? To not.
Yeah. Like, I'm definitely watching Clone Wars again.
I'm
I think
definitely- I
tomorrow,
got it.
starting tomorrow.
Correct.
I'm doing it.
I keep talking about it.
Chronologically.
As much
Well,
as
hey,
I-
it's perfect, right? Because
Yeah.
right now, after this, right, we
Yeah.
should start watching it.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
I don't
sorry.
know.
Actually, before this. Sorry.
I'm kind of with.
Totally off.
I'm open to like the ideas of like these. I kind of consider them fixes when they do it with Clone
yeah,
Wars and
it-
Rebels,
it-
especially since Lucas has his hands so deep with Dave
Yeah.
in Rebels and with Clone Wars. Like he's
Well,
there
I think it's not
all the time.
fixing as more as a supporting.
Okay, well, but I'm kind of with Chris Gore the way he talked about it on the podcast at
Yeah.
Celebration. Like the end all be all of Star Wars are the trilogies.
Yeah.
Like for me,
Yeah.
like that's
They
it.
should be held
like,
as
so.
true
Like
canon.
I am
There's no
open
argument, I
minded
think,
to
with
the
anybody
idea,
else.
but like also like having to read the books and all that stuff. That stuff's where gets tough for me. Like I can do it with just like the TV shows. And I don't have the attention span to read books. I'm sorry.
Well,
That's
no,
my fault.
and that's a-
Audio books.
It's
I
definitely.
know. Well, some of us don't have the right to work you do have.
Correct.
Well,
Right.
it is something to say though, because often I've come up with that too. It's like, oh, like our perspective, our perspectives, like we definitely see it as a whole because we have read all that stuff. But then it's such a hard conversation to have, just because I want so bad to impart that on everybody else, so that hopefully they would understand. And either these fixes or these supports, it's this is explaining that, so that's why it's actually good and not bad. I hate that has to be explained. I hate that has to be supported.
Yeah.
But it is there, and it everything. I've talked to the office, talked to Cody about it. I think I don't want to speak for him, but I feel like he has the ability that canon wise, the canon of the films are definitely the highest, but then like the books and the movies are still on that level where they could be retconned, they could be changed,
Right.
they could be dropped out, I think. But they are, to me, everything's on the same level. Books, comics, video games, movies, TV shows, everything is canon in and of itself, and everything all relates, and it should be held together. But it's just no one's gonna. The mass media, the mass audiences aren't going to read all the books and comics. Like I haven't read them all
I start
either.
to think it's more of a marketing ploy at that point. Of like, well, if you want to know, you got to read this.
Sure.
And which I'm not saying that that's not a good business move.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a good business move. But I think that the movies are the end all
Yeah.
be all,
And-
and
but-
that's
yeah.
where I am. And I'm open to the television shows, but
Sure.
with the books and the comics, it's just so much stuff to keep track of.
Yeah.
It's very tough.
But on top of that,
Can I just say, I love this scene.
Well, he's
yeah.
got the best dialogue. Talking about who has the best
yeah.
lines. He has the best lines.
That's true. Yeah, I mean,
It's a great scene.
like right there when he realizes,
Yeah.
like, are you telling
That
me
kid's
that
look.
like I can keep Padme alive?
Like, he's
like,
got-
like
he's
I can
got
keep,
him.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Again,
hook, line, and
see, he
sinker.
knows, and again, but see, okay. Well, I don't know if you're finished with
Well, yeah.
because I kind of go with the fact that like the episode 3 novel for this,
Sure. Yeah.
like that scene there, it's
What are they doing in the Lost Boys village?
it's clear in
night,
that book
Kashyyyk.
that Sidious Palpatine knows he's in a relationship with Padme.
Yeah.
Knows that he can manipulate him in a way that if I could tell him that he could save her, then I'm gonna get this guy to turn, right? So, it's just I agree now that the books and the novels and the comics, no, they're really just supporting, I think, in building more of a story with Star Wars. Most of them don't. I mean, most of them, not all of them, but some of them don't really land on any of the main characters. They're just sort of like Twilight Company. Aftermath is like completely this whole new group of characters.
Right.
So
Catalyst, kind of.
well, Catalyst does a lot of backstory, absolutely, but you don't need that backstory technically.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
You don't need it.
Yeah.
But like Thrawn, I just went through Thrawn.
Chewie.
So is that Chewie?
It's Chewie.
That's
It's
Chewie.
young Chewie. So
Yeah.
is this what he's going to look like
Not too young.
in the Han
A
Solo
little bit
movie?
old. Yeah. Close.
I mean, he's
Little
got it right around here,
Probably
right?
more towards A New Hope, but because it's closer to New Hope than it
Yeah.
is to this movie.
He shouldn't really be changing that much. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's like
but
200 years old.
but
Or something
Dave-
like that.
So Chewie's like a veteran.
He's a veteran.
That's why he's
probably a spry one.
he's got his
Probably
good wit to
120
him.
years old right here, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Dave, with
I
your
love
with your
Chewie is
point,
by far my
He is,
favorite Star Wars character.
Really?
Absolutely,
Yeah. Oh,
hands
okay.
down. I love Chewie.
Well, my daughter,
I'm
first,
really
my youngest
jealous
daughter
that Cody's
loves
dog is
Chewbacca.
named Chewie because I can't name my next dog Chewie. Yeah.
no, but Dave, with your point was actually that was the last point I was going to make too. Is you don't have to read the books to really gain any I don't know, any insight that you couldn't live without.
Correct.
You know,
Yeah.
that's kind of
That's
the
good.
fault that I think the books and comics are at right now. Unlike the previous EU, where you had these books that introduced great characters like the kids of Han Solo, and they also died in the books. You know, you got those crazy big moments in Star Wars. You're not. I don't think you'll get that in the books now. The books won't be that kind of importance. Like, you know, let's just say, Luke had a wife and a kid. I don't know if we would get that in a book, that introduction.
No.
I don't know. Maybe I could be very well wrong, but I don't.
But don't you get it in a book? Not a canon.
In old EU, yes.
Old
That's what I'm
EU,
saying.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Old EU, we had those crazy big introductions and big plot story, those story
Well,
arcs.
Yeah, that's the thing is like with the EU back then, you were introduced to stories beyond the movies. Episode 6. So all you knew was what happened in the books beyond that point. Lucas, to a point, didn't allow writers to write anything between episode 1 episode 6 because he didn't want to worry about canon problems for one, but then again changing the perception of what someone could write something that could change the perception of what you look at into a movie, right?
Yeah.
So that's why it's getting that's Django. No, that's Cody. That's Captain Cody. Commander Cody.
Commander Cody. Yep.
But that's the thing. That's the thing with the books now because they're allowed to go in any timelines, right? Throughout the mixture of the movies. That's why it's now starting to change the perception of a person's character in a movie.
Yeah.
Because if we didn't have anything between 1 and 6, you wouldn't be talking about, oh, well, this happened before this, so it changes what it thinks, right? So, so that's where it is starting to get a little difficult because if you read Tarkin, if you read Thrawn, if you read Bloodline before Episode 7, it's like your perception of how these characters are acting in those
playing
movies
PSP right
it's a
there.
little different. So
Well, he's got a PSP.
but to me, it's a good thing. I mean, if you want more storyline, if you want more story, you're able to have it now, and you're able to know that it's actually part of the real timeline, right?
Well, see, in Bloodline, can it really change? I mean, if it happens to be that, like, Leia had a relationship with somebody else after Han, like after her and Han kind of split.
They actually never split.
Don't they?
Well,
they're away from each other.
They're away from
for a
each other,
long
but
time.
They're away
still
from each other,
married.
but they're still married, and they're still
They're just their jobs are.
their job. See, that's the thing. You learn in Bloodline
Yeah.
that
For some reason, I thought that in Bloodline explains.
It goes.
See, this, I shouldn't even talk.
It goes
about it 'cause I don't
deeper.
know anything
No,
about
it's like, it goes deeper
No.
into why they're just not together all the time.
Okay.
But
But that's the thing. You kind of get in episode 7. That's the
Some
tough
people are
part.
theorizing that like she went off and like had Rey.
yeah, well, that's
Again,
Which
that-
could be, which also
you
starts
just saw
bringing
the
it back
movies,
to the
then-
EU of the original.
know.
Like, yeah, although they're not twins,
right.
Kylo and Rey aren't twins, but I don't know.
Well, but what Bloodline is saying that they just had different lives and they went out. But yeah, that's a whole different thing. But
I want to talk about that scene really quick, the scene with Anakin and Padme, because again, going with how the book, I feel like adds a lot more to this story, and like with that scene in particular in the book, it shows Anakin arriving to her apartment and sitting there, and maybe it's a scene later, but anyways, he feels Obi-Wan's presence. Obi-Wan, I think, went to her apartment earlier and talked and whatever.
yes,
and then
I think that was that scene.
I think it was too, because I think right there at the start he says Obi-Wan was here and they had talked, so it actually shows that, but it kind of adds the little drama to it where Anakin starts to have suspicions of maybe Padme and Obi-Wan are kind of having a thing,
Right,
And it's like
which
a quick
leads
thing
back to
exactly to your
It's not really my theory. I don't want to take
Well, it's-
credit for
it's
it. It's
still
more.
your-
I mean, I agree with it,
Yeah.
but it's more of Cody's theory.
yeah, but that definitely. That would definitely work if they had added that part of the scene into the film here.
Right, if they would have added that part, and it's a lot easier to say like they should have done this, they should have done that after the fact that it's come out. But if they would have added that scene into that part where Obi-Wan is there beforehand, and then also instead of Jar Jar getting off of the ship with Qui-Gon in Episode 1, if Obi-Wan, and this is not my theory, it's one I agree with, I'm not going to take credit for it, but if Obi-Wan would have gotten off, and if there started to be some flirtation, between him and Padme from the beginning, then there could have been that little tiny bit of like suspicion or tension with him and Anakin from the get-go.
Yeah. No, man,
And it could have built over 3 movies. It could have been like this frustrated student that wants to overcome the teacher, but also there's a personal thing there too. It's not just about becoming the master.
Not very true. And how does Obi-Wan get out of that ship with no one seeing?
I totally
he's
thinking the whole
a
thing.
beast.
How does that look? How did that happen?
He had to use the Force to disguise
Yeah,
himself.
to like make everybody think they're seeing something else.
Yes.
Weird.
This is not the Obi-Wan you're
Exactly.
looking for.
Like that's
Yeah. I like those creatures. You just
sound
go-
design, man.
It's like rent. It's like rent a creature instead of rent a car. Rent a
it's like
creature.
that one.
I want that guy.
So these are the crate dragons.
No.
I feel like
They
that would be
got
such
it.
a cool part.
Yes,
though,
totally.
If that was
Crate
a crate
dragons
dragon.
are
really
and
big.
Obi-Wan is on top of one, and that's why he can do that.
That sound.
That cool. Well, that's the crappy sound.
Yeah, it's the new. That's why I go off because
Yeah.
that's the new canon version. Gosh, that guy with like a tarantula-looking face terrifies me.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's so scary. No, this is such a great.
And how could it be such a
Scene.
stealthy creature?
I know. You hear that loud thumping somewhere in that weird sound just in the background? What is? I don't know
Yeah.
what that is.
So the fight coming up now with Obi-Wan and
Comfy
Grievous.
ride. I mean, yeah.
Now you got that in the trailer with him wielding 4 lightsabers,
Yeah.
but to me, and I'll get your opinions on this. To me, it didn't completely live up to what I expected.
No.
Like he dealt with him pretty quickly, which
Yeah.
again, I guess that shows you the power of Obi-Wan. But the 4 lightsabers wasn't as intimidating
Sure.
as it made it out to be. You know what I
We're
mean?
about to get Obi-Wan's catchphrase here.
Oh, yeah.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Have you seen that video? where they show all the lightsaber battles with is it Anakin? Is it the last scene?
Their fight at the end of this movie, the Battle of Heroes.
The battle at the end of this movie, and every lightsaber hit, he says hello there.
Yeah. Hello there.
Hello there.
But then, like, just the other
that's
day,
great.
the other day got released kind of another version where it's instead of hello there or lightsaber sounds, it's Owen Wilson saying,
"Oh, I saw that.
Wow. That's so funny.
Oh man, they should do it with Christopher Walken. Wow or
yeah,
something.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That would be we had told Derek that'd be good. That's a viral hit right there.
Now I wonder, Casey, do you wonder? I wonder whose sabers he has.
I don't know.
We has.
I don't know.
He put one in it. Didn't he get, or did he get that back?
They got him back.
He got him back, so he had other sabers. And I'm wondering if.
So let's theorize.
I feel like did we get that in Clone Wars? We might have gotten some of that.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Did Windu lose his
Terrifying.
saber in Clone Wars?
Windu's purple.
He's always been purple.
Okay.
Yeah. Now his first action figure had a blue lightsaber, but
Interesting.
yeah.
Now Shakti is Shakti
She's
still
dead
alive?
at this point.
What if they're all Anakin's lost
I always
lightsabers?
forget what they would go with.
I think the canon is she's in the
Vader.
temple.
Yeah, Vader kills her,
Vader
so
kills
she's
her.
not dead yet.
Now see, there was a saber there. That looks like Anakin's.
Well, yeah.
The other
Well,
one.
doesn't Anakin lose like every lightsaber ever?
Pretty
Yeah,
Like
but he's
every
had
5
the same.
minutes?
He's
It's like
had
me
this.
with my car keys.
Yes, he's had the same one since Clone Wars though.
Okay.
But that looks like it almost.
A little bit.
right there.
It was Qui-Gon's lightsaber.
Hey, just see like I want to see the in between where like he's growing up with Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And they travel from like planet to planet, and every time
Yeah.
they leave a planet,
He gets-
like he's just like, "Hey, Anakin, hand me your lightsaber," and he's just like,
Uh-oh.
not again."
Da-da-da-da-da.
It's Jake Lloyd, just not again.
Annie and Obi. Da-da-da-da. I love that.
Love that shot right there. That is
Ooh,
like
you got some goop in your eye.
like
Gross.
that looks so real.
You got
I mean,
eye
that looks
boogers.
so real. It's so crazy.
Eyeballs are insane. Though. Like, did he steal those from people too?
No, that's real. That's
I know,
the
but,
the
like,
head.
that's-
Well,
The
he's
head.
a cyborg. You know,
Yeah.
he's an
But
alien.
because his head is what his head is.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah,
the only thing that's existing of his previous body is his head and his heart. pretty
his
much.
head is a little bit of
Gotcha.
organs
So
in the
he's
middle.
he's like a Dalek, the original Dalek. Sorry.
But no, it's
Whovians out there?
probably. I would say so.
I'll probably get a bunch
I
of
got
tweets
smacked
being
that
like,
droid
"Well,
in the head."
technically that's not what a Dalek."
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, but Grievous isn't even close to anything like a Jedi.
No,
So I think that's why Obi-Wan can deal with him so quickly.
but but
But
as you-
again, I agree. Like these these epic battles that are like the main two battles of the
Oh,
movie
he lost his.
get dealt with so quickly.
He fucked up.
well, not. I mean, what do you mean the main two battles?
Well,
the
not the
Dooku-
main two. Well, the main two that we've seen so far.
Right.
That little one.
So
and then-
Dooku and Grievous and
Yeah.
Obi-Wan.
Okay.
So can I just say I wish that Dan Aykroyd would have played that character,
Wait. The
the Conehead guy.
yeah.
See, I do wish I'll mention one thing about the clone guys. As you notice that one shot that we talked about when we pointed out Commander Cody, there wasn't enough. At least there wasn't enough foresight to incorporate into this movie the different type of looks
Yeah.
they have
The
in
clones,
Clone Wars
yeah.
because they all
Shaved
look the
heads,
same. Yes,
Tattoos. Yeah.
because they all look the same in
Yeah.
that one scene. But I love how Clone Wars did that.
Absolutely.
They changed. You know, they all look different, even though they're the same
They made
person.
Them, they made them their own characters. Like
made them their own
Rex,
characters.
Come on,
Right.
gee.
Yes. Yep.
He's looking above that screen. Yeah, his eyesight's.
Was he? So this is technically the reveal
Oh, Anakin. Oh,
of Sidious
I was just
Right.
shaving.
here.
I do have some questions during when Mace Windu comes.
Yeah.
Mace Windu. When
Waste Mindu.
Waste Mindu. When he comes in.
This is a good scene. And yeah, it could have been ended here. So sad.
If you just would have struck him down,
Yeah.
he'd be the father of two beautiful twins.
But he wouldn't be. Because if he struck him down here,
He
still would have let the hate
maybe.
come
Yeah,
over.
it's possible, but
And he still would have been fearful that no matter what, Padme would die.
but then
And he would have struck down the master immediately.
You know that it.
So there is also theorizing that
If he would have killed him,
Yeah.
those premonitions would have been gone. Because the only reason he was seeing the future there is because that was the future at the time with him being alive. So
Well, here's the thing.
him
though.
gone,
right, but
no death to Padme.
But if he kills him, and then he has another premonition of Padme dying.
Another way.
But she wouldn't
Nothing you can do
Can't
to
stop the
stop it.
future from happening.
Yeah.
But anyways, though, because it really does get into a good conversation where the Republic. I don't know, because part of me thinks the Republic should have been dissolved anyways, because it was corrupt, but it was only corrupt because of Palpatine.
Right.
So, if Palpatine was just killed right here, then would the galaxy be safe still? Would there still be corruption in the Separatists are still there, obviously, but the Republic would have won because Obi-Wan's about to kill Grievous.
Corruption spreads its roots. Casey.
Well, there wouldn't have been
All over now.
Sith
It's a
corruption,
poison.
No, so and the clones would not have turned.
No.
and they would not have turned. You're right.
But I
No,
wonder if there'd still
isn't
be-
there a theory that he actually lies and said he actually never killed his master?
Oh, he
that's
killed him.
that's a theory. Yeah, well,
He killed him.
He killed him. Yeah.
And
The
that's
theory
who
though
Snoke
is like Plagueis is Snoke kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, that's probably not the case.
Actually, I
anymore.
saw Pablo in a tweet actually say,
No.
he killed Plagueis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plagueis is dead.
Okay. He's dead now.
So,
Part of me thinks that they want.
but that's a lot of, that's a lot of strength from Anakin to actually know that he is the reason now for all of this.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's going to actually say, I'm going to go tell the council and they're going to come deal with it, I guess. I love that part with him.
The audience, the theater went wild.
So creepy.
Yeah,
It's like he's got candy in a van there.
Yeah. Come on, kids.
But how cool is it? Do it. To be able to play that character again after you played him in episode 6. You know what I mean? It's like, and I don't know if people new to it, do they know that?
I found out at Celebration.
Really?
Yeah.
He didn't play Emperor. Oh, okay.
That he played the Emperor in episode 6? You didn't think that? Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
He was young because he was
He was young.
He was, I don't know, late 30s.
I guess it's just because he looks so different.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a lot
Now
older.
Now his
Yeah.
age
Right,
matches
but I mean-
now. Now he was like what, late 30s, early 40s.
Yeah, early 30s, I think.
You know,
that's
so
what
he was playing an older character in 6, where now he's playing the right age.
the right age, correct.
Which is crazy.
Is he still chasing him?
Yeah, it's not happening.
But it's like,
Gotcha.
he got his voice perfect. Well, of course he did, because he's the same guy.
Yeah.
The way he's holding that, he's got to be hurting his arm.
Yeah, no, it's such a long.
Oh, yeah.
It's hitting his wrist every time.
Right in the face.
But this is a cool. Music just now kicks in.
Yeah.
Like there was no music the whole time.
It happens. It's happened a couple times in Star Wars.
It does.
When it does, it's always great when there's no music.
I know.
I think that is one of the best. This is another reason why I'm a disagreement with Ron Howard coming onto the Han Solo project.
Yeah.
But I love it when there's silence in movie, like when there's no
Action scenes
soundtrack
especially.
or something like that in a movie.
Yeah.
It makes the story come out of the action and the acting.
Let's going with another franchise. That's one of the best parts of Harry Potter. The whole series is the fight in Order of the Phoenix between Voldemort and Dumbledore.
Right,
And the Ministry of Magic. There's no music, and there's this crazy big fight. And there's no music at all. In it.
Right, and it builds the tension.
So weird. Yeah,
But-
absolutely.
But I feel like Ron Howard's going to ruin that with this. He does not know how to make a movie that is not completely compelled by the score. But my toes.
Yeah. Oh, I always feel myself in this position. It's always hanging off stuff.
Oh, he's got to have awesome.
We'll definitely have you on the
shoulders.
show because I'm interested about the Han Solo thing. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Because I would like full examples of that kind of stuff.
okay.
But that's good. Again, a lot of people thought we would get
Takes
more
a lot
Han
of-
Solo
takes
stuff
a lot of hits out of it.
at D23.
Yeah.
We never got
I
it.
know. Still working on it.
D23 is when the behind the scenes came out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically, it's Disney's Comic-Con now.
Yes, basically. Every couple of years.
Yeah.
Grievous is no more. Grievous is no more. So this is. I remember sitting in the theater, like seeing that scene where they walk in and 4 sabers ignite. I'm like, all right, this is it. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Now that you want to talk about being disappointed, how fast a couple of those, 3 of those Jedis went down. I'm like, oh man, because I would have liked to really see him fight those guys for a little while longer and take them out versus just 2 blows and they were.
I feel like the Jedi are not as strong as we make them out to be in this series. Because if you think about what is it, episode 2, that first part, that Jedi just gets the axe like right away.
Which part?
Oh, what is it?
And then the fight, the Geonosis when he gets shot.
Yeah, he just gets shot.
Yeah, Jango kills that one guy.
Yeah, just
who
Jango
knows? He
just
might have
takes
been. He might have been like some grunt. I don't know who that guy was. Like, why'd you bring this guy?
There's no red shirt Jedis. Come on.
Why'd you bring this guy? Everybody knew he was gonna die. I love that. Gosh, you have gained my trust. It just warms my heart because all this time he's not trusted him. Now he is. Just do what he says.
Every time he steps near like an open window that's gonna go high, I get anxious.
Careful. Hold on to something. Big shark came out and took him out. That's what should have happened. Deep blue sea.
Love this scene too.
Yeah.
I was
They don't have TVs. I was just watching TV.
when I was cutting the trailer for this, I really wanted to use something from this. It's really just gorgeous looking shots.
Oh yeah.
I love the exteriors and the music in this part too. Right now.
And Hayden Christensen, he's a good actor. I think it's demonstrated here.
Yes.
Act again?
But like when the episode 2 commentary talking with Charles, how people think Hayden's a bad actor based off how he portrayed Anakin in episode 2, and to his credit, I think that was part of how he was directed and how he was edited. But also, I think that's how he was on purpose because that's how the character was written. The character of Anakin was a whiny kid. He was very emotional.
Right.
How he was and after he killed all the Tusken Raiders, but there's such a huge character change I feel like from Anakin to an Anakin in this. In this, he feels like an adult. He feels like a grown up. He's mature. Hayden's portrayal of Anakin to me is drastically different from 2 to 3, and I think that shows his acting.
I don't think he's a bad actor. There's actually I don't know if you all have ever seen it. There's these funny signed Star Wars cards by Mark Hamill, and like with like different little jokes on them. And there's one of him and Lucas on set, and they're kind of like talking very intensely, and it's just signed just as, "Yes, George, but have you ever tried acting to these lines?"
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's.
That's always a thing that
good.
Harrison Ford would say, like you can't.
You can write this stuff,
yeah,
but you can't say it. Yeah.
And that's true. I mean,
So I get
a
it.
good point. Some actors,
But
I guess, can't read those lines convincingly, but that's why Liam Neeson's Neil McGregor, the best actors in this series.
Mace is there with the alien from Independence Day.
Yeah, grown up alien. Exactly.
What? Who? Kid Fists?
Welcome
true.
Welcome to Earth.
Well, he's the Independence Day. I was actually also thinking the squid from Men in Black. The first one,
yeah.
little baby
the
squid.
baby.
That's what I was thinking of when
That's
you
true.
said that.
How is this possible that he does this, especially in
He
close
actually has
quarters?
2. Why does he have 1 out? He has 2 lights.
He does have 2.
Oh, that's a terrifying
Oh,
sound.
love that.
Terrifying sound.
See, like,
what? He wasn't even looking. Whoa.
I mean, it's like,
How do you
start swinging, guys.
Yeah.
Start
that guy
swinging.
Looked like a demon
Push
from
him.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, that's true. Force push him or something.
Yeah.
Come on,
Oh, it's
man.
like the squid and that Dreadlocks guy from Matrix and the baby.
the Dreadlocks guy. Nice.
The purple versus red. That's a little different,
Yeah.
Yeah.
These 2 guys fighting is so funny to me.
So were they using the same lightsabers they're using now on set
No, not for the new movies.
for the new movies as they were for the old ones?
No.
Okay.
The new ones are like actual. They're almost
So
like
I'd be
those over
interested in
there.
knowing, like, I want to see how they light that.
These never had
like the
never had light on them. These
Yeah.
are metal.
Right. See, that's what I'm interested in. Like, because that's.
The ones they
Well,
did.
they didn't.
Do they do
that's
that
why
in
they.
post, or do they?
At full post.
Yeah,
But
that's
see,
why-
if you notice, there's no reflection on
That's true.
Yeah.
people.
But now, like there's
Now there's full color.
yeah, you can see
reflection,
that in
yeah.
the fight between Ray and Kylo. It's
Right.
That's
yeah.
why if
See,
you
I think
notice-
that's part of it, like that makes it so good.
Exactly.
That's why I hated.
Yeah.
That's why I hated like in episode 2 when the lights go out
Yeah.
and Dooku and Anakin.
Yeah.
Now those are glowing,
Well, it's
but you notice
close-ups.
they're not touching each other.
Yeah, it's just waving past.
They're
The
waving.
light is going past
Correct.
your face. Then it cuts to wide, and then it's
and then there's no glow in their
Yeah.
face. Yeah, so it's a little deceiving. But
in the face.
now he just lost his saber, so
Yeah.
he has another one.
Yeah.
So maybe he gets another one.
That's just a
Another one.
story they'll come up with where he lost.
But here's
that
my
one, too.
question now. I want to start theorizing a little bit here.
Go for it.
You think he's alive?
Is Mace Windu alive after
I don't know,
this?
because Samuel Jackson at
po-
Celebration
it
was
is-
sure he was pushing
He's
it
wanted
a
to-
little bit.
I think it's entirely possible that he could have survived that. Entirely possible.
If Darth Maul can survive getting cut
Exactly.
in half,
Exactly.
I feel like you have to do. I hate to say it, but I feel like you have to do some fan service here and bring him back.
Yeah.
Because
I agree.
okay, so right here, so he's just sending back that Force lightning
Yeah.
into his face.
Pretty much.
that's what's happening. Yes.
Okay,
And he's gonna hit you with your own lightning.
see, like that face right there. That's where you see Vader.
Now here's the for the longest time after this movie, the theory behind him changing, his looks right here, Palpatine, was a lot of people theorized that is how he has always looked, and
Okay.
he used the dark side to conceal that. Because as you see through episode 1, 2, and 3, he gets his skin gets a little rougher. Like in 2, he looks pale and
Yeah.
Right.
and you can see like the dark side eating at him and more. But the theories were that he held it in and started revealing himself to this because he wanted Anakin to believe that the Jedi disfigured him.
Right.
Right. But
That's answered. I honestly I can't remember what it was, but in Ultimate Star Wars there, it does say what happened. And I can't remember. Should we go grab?
well, not,
Everybody
if
always
you want,
losing
but
hands.
that's
What was it? Do you know what the answer is?
no. I think
to
the
that?
answer is that
It really did scar
that-
his face.
yeah, that did
I think
scar his
you're
face. Yeah,
I just
no,
always forgot.
that's
Man. See, I
Yeah.
don't know if you can survive that though.
Let's see.
Fall, yes.
Let's see. I don't know.
How come his face doesn't get all
But he's
messed up?
still alive right
Did you
there.
hear it?
He's
You can't hear him screaming. Luke survived, got electrocuted up the.
Oh, yeah,
wazoo
yeah,
in-
no.
In episode 6.
you've got to really do
should've
it for a
thrown
long
up.
time to kill him. I think
oh,
He
because
finally gained his trust, Anakin. There you go.
I
Screw
wish
it all
I wish
up.
you threw it
Yeah.
like that. That'd be so funny.
now see what I would have loved to see. Again, I don't know how much saber action is too much,
Yeah.
but see, I would have loved him to actually block Mace Windu there, and him and Mace fight,
Yeah.
and he strike down Mace in order to turn.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
that's what I would have seen,
And
wanted to see.
I
there.
agree. That's something that was missing in general. We got that in 2 where Anakin is physically doing actions that
Right.
put him down that path.
Correct.
Like in 2 when he killed the Tusken Raiders.
Right.
That's why in episode 1, I've said this many times on the show, where I wish he had done something during the pod race scene to, on purpose, sabotage Sebulba's ship while they're racing to cause him to be killed, essentially.
Oh,
You know, when they're hooked up or whatever, I wish he had done something like thrown something in his engine to blow up, something that would have, in the same vein. So, again, here, yeah, I agree. It would be cool to see him physically make that step.
Showing his anger, his selfishness.
Yeah.
his-
Because think
Through
about the
action doing
parallel.
something. Yeah.
He strikes down Mace and turns to Vader.
Yeah.
In episode 6, that's what Palpatine wanted Luke to do.
Yeah.
Strike down Vader, become my new
Right,
apprentice,
yeah.
right? So the parallel would have been my father did it, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to make that
Such a
choice.
transformation there. That's always a.
Because I feel like he's
me.
I feel like he's almost kneeling in guilt a little bit.
Yeah. At,
know,
at
like-
first,
Oh,
yeah.
he's definitely.
You know what I mean?
He's very submissive. Like,
Correct.
And that's what's such like again like that. You literally see the transformation over his face of like succumbing to the dark side, almost as if it is a supernatural thing where the dark side literally controls you, consumes
Yeah.
him. It's not. It's not.
It's true.
You
He's
can
never-
equate it to our own. Our own vices, but like it's more. It's way more than that. There's actual physical, living power that controls you, and you
I feel
saw
like
it
the
on his
Sith
face.
always does that too. They try and keep their apprentices or apprentices.
What was one?
whatever.
2. Yeah,
They keep them as a beta
yeah,
because even after this, like he's making him kneel in guilt. Like he kind of forces that. But in 6, or even 4, 5, and 6, Vader is. I mean, look at all Vader has done. He's still not in charge. Really?
Not without trying, though.
Yeah.
Not without trying.
Well, that's the whole thing.
Not without trying. But that's the
He's
thing.
trying
Like
to get
he
Luke
just can't. He can't get on the Jedi Council. He can't.
Yeah.
I mean, the same thing with Kylo. Kylo's not in charge. There's somebody in between him and Snoke.
Well,
He's on the same. I would say similar level, very similar level to Hux.
Similar, but not.
yeah, kind of like Tarkin.
Yeah.
Tarkin and
Yeah.
Vader. I mean,
Well, no, I mean Palpatine definitely keeps Vader below him, and that's why Vader keeps
Right.
trying to get Luke to join him so they can overthrow the Emperor. And even here, at the end, Anakin tries to tell Padme, "Hey, join me. We can overthrow. I can overthrow the Emperor.
Correct.
We can run the galaxy."
Yeah.
And then he tries to run the galaxy again with Luke as father and son, but he just can't do it by himself. Gonna fix that window?
Wants what every girl wants. A little security.
Should that be a big gust of wind still? Oh, maybe I guess not. To that
Right?
window.
Isn't the window still broken?
It's still. Yeah, fix
They
that.
went to a different room.
That's a problem. Gosh, I loved it.
yeah, fiery eyes.
Yeah.
That's good. So now we get into getting ready to do.
Smile.
I mean, it's getting ready to do the ultimate.
Yeah.
Order 66 is what really.
So is this technically a 501st now, or is that not in a?
I think it's a 501st.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
it is.
I think it is. Yeah.
That's just crazy. You know, he's solely 100% Vader. That's
100%
as we said
Darth Vader.
in our review of the Vader comics right now, which ties in perfectly to because it's right after this movie. But it's not like Anakin is still struggling with
That's such a
light
cool
side, dark
shot.
side. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, this
He's
movie
walking
shot very
into
well.
the light. Like he's
Yeah.
taking the troops into the light.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But no, very cool, very good.
Put your mic up because.
Oh yeah. Well, I was keeping it down because I was chewing on Doritos.
Yeah, because
I'm not
make sure I'm not
exactly-
losing you.
Nom, nom, nom. Nom, noms.
Nom, nom, nom.
Nom,
Nom, nom.
noms. Oh, right. Oh,
Well, he hasn't.
get it,
No,
get
because
it.
yeah, they're about to order a 66. About to issue order 66.
This guy's on it. Who is?
I think it's quick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. This is so fun to read this scene here, especially this part here with the lightsaber. There's a piece of dialogue here that's not in the movie, but it was in the book. But I'll explain after it happens.
Is he talking about getting the higher ground?
No.
See,
doesn't.
Cody, God, it's again in the Clone Wars series. There's such a relationship with him and Cody.
Yeah.
There, it's like this is. You're like, how are they turning so quickly?
Yeah.
Now again, you don't really know why.
Well, it's for until we got that Lost Missions of the Clone Wars, I had always thought because of the previous Battlefront 2 game, the first Battlefront 2. It was I remember the first one, probably the first one. But there was the campaign. They actually had a campaign story with the clones, and in that game, it explains that they pretty much always knew what was going to happen.
See, Obi-Wan
The clones did?
survives that fall.
Yeah, it was always. Yeah, it was described because like this mission here, you play this mission in that game on Magito with Ki-Adi-Mundi, and it's like soldier journals. So you hear one of the clones narrating this diary of sorts, talking about this battle, and then it says like, it's too bad that he didn't know what was going to happen, kind of a thing. Basically saying like this was going to happen. They knew they were going to do this at some point, and they were just playing along until this happened.
Wow.
Now, if
this is teary.
I know
this is like. I remember
is
being
very,
in theater
like,
like,
right out of
oh
Godfather.
man,
yeah,
this
exactly.
is crazy.
Godfather. Yeah.
Everybody's just
Absolutely.
getting
Yep.
Just wiped
finally
out.
happened.
I mean,
everybody's
It's
getting got.
happening.
the revenge has happened.
Got.
Revenge of the Sith has happened. I mean, straight.
What is
up,
her
just-
name?
Ara Sakura.
Elias
Sakura.
Yeah.
Okay.
Star Wars name. Elias
Sakura.
Oh my heart.
I mean, if anybody's feeling something, it's definitely Yoda. I mean, that's like.
The whole council's getting taken out.
Yeah, see, like Plo
that's
Koon, though,
Cato
like right now,
Neimoidia.
he's not.
Right.
That's Cato Neimoidia, yeah. That he's not feeling, like he's not sensing it right now, right?
Yeah.
And he's just. None of them got. I mean,
But Plo Koon should have. I think he should put more of a fight.
yeah,
And based off what we saw in the Clone Wars, he's
Yes.
way more skilled.
way more
And he's
skilled.
being shot down.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I mean, he's the one that he's the one.
Well,
for
he
those who don't know,
survives that. Doesn't Anakin go get him in the Clone Wars the movie, or in the first episode?
I cannot remember.
goes and
They go
gets him.
find him, or maybe that's
Well, I'm trying to think. Honestly, can't
Ahsoka
remember. Yeah,
wants to go find him because isn't that her master? Or,
No,
It's
but
a friend.
they have
It's a
they have
friend.
a
Yeah.
they have a history. Yeah,
They have history.
Right.
But he's the one that actually tracks down Master Sidious
right.
and Sidious' lightsaber and all that stuff. This is awesome.
Yeah. Of course, he just senses it. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, it's so. What if he goes wrong? What if they were just gonna like warn him about something?
Wow.
You know? It's,
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like, you think Chewbacca would be like, "What did you
Yeah.
do?"
Yeah. So I guess we're just after them now.
Yeah, what the heck?
Dude, let's get out of here.
Because they weren't necessarily, because where they were looking at, they weren't necessarily changing the
Down there.
down there.
Well, I guess not. I mean, they're still fighting this separate.
No, this was pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah.
This is a little disturbing, actually. But
Poor little guy.
I love
Oh,
the
did
actual
they all-
kid's reaction.
Did they fight back?
Because think about it, there's not a saber igniting there. He's just like, right? I mean, that's a
What?
pretty good reaction from the
Yeah.
little kid. Great scene there.
Mm-hmm.
So now the reveal happened. I mean,
Yeah.
did you?
We're
Did it make
almost
sense?
An hour and a half into the movie.
Did it make sense?
Yeah.
which
The
reveal?
Order 66, how everything went so bad. I mean, because
Oh,
it
well,
was
yeah,
as
I
simple
mean-
as turning them to just basically making them turn.
Well, he's
But they
basically
don't
just
even
doing
know.
one of these. You know?
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is they don't even know.
The clones.
The clones don't even know. They,
how it actually
now they
happened.
feel like the Jedi have always been evil.
Yeah.
And now I'm fighting
So,
the Jedi.
so what it is
Right.
there's an implant in all the clones' brains that controls their whatever their
There's an
neurons.
implant?
There's a
Or
little
he's
chip.
using the Force.
No,
There's a chip.
there's a
in-
chip
There's a biochip in their
in their brain.
when they grew them or whatever. They always had this chip planted. in them
protocol,
since-
basically.
See, I feel like it would have been a lot cooler if
If you could
Sidious
mind
was
control
just
them all?
like,
That would be
No.
pretty nuts.
Have been crazy. Yeah.
Nice kid, get him.
That's Jet Lucas.
Yeah.
Lucas's
boy.
boy.
Okay.
Right there.
He killed his own son.
Oh. No.
No,
Silhouettes.
so you learn in the Clone Wars as you'll get to it. Sorry to spoil it for you, but there's a part where you learn about the chip, and so Order 66, they basically reverse their whole thinking, and they have this whole new thought process. Because you see one part which is really neat in there, how one of them's malfunctioning.
Yeah.
Like one goes bad, and he just all of a sudden turns before everybody else does, before the order.
Okay.
And he kills this Jedi, but he doesn't know. But then he comes back and he's like, "What did I do? I don't know what I did,"
Yeah.
And but there's no recognition. Like Commander Cody, has no recollection of. All he knows is Obi-Wan is evil. He doesn't know anything of his history anymore. It's really crazy. But I thought it was a good way to do it, because that was really in the dark of how they were going to explain how the clones turn on the Jedi and all this stuff, and the Jedi die.
And so that's the belief I had. I always thought, like, gosh, they like right now they know that they're evil and they're just biding time, but that wasn't the case at all.
So
Yeah.
Yoda's going to Dagobah.
Not right now.
Not yet.
He's
Not
on,
yet?
Not yet. Not
They're
yet.
gonna
He
meet
still
up.
has to fight Sidious. Remember?
Oh, right.
Yeah, they're all going to meet up on.
We're all happy that Chewbacca made it in there, though. That was pretty
Yeah.
I
cool.
love Chewbacca.
Again, like
Yeah.
you said too, like in the beginning, I think on our episode 1 commentaries, like talking about check boxes. Like you kind of wanted to see more stuff like that. Well, just little cameos
Little
here and there,
cameos,
like
yeah.
the Falcon maybe featured in it more or something
Yeah.
like that, or another bounty hunter character somehow gets thrown in the mix, like in episode 2. Like maybe if it was Bosk or Dengar or IG-88 going after
I wonder
Padme.
if they're going to reveal how. I guess they have to reveal how Han got the.
Falcon.
How he got the Falcon.
That's got to
Yeah.
be. I'm sure
I mean-
that's a.
Yeah.
Well, it's just a question of when it happens in that movie. I don't know. The body's still there.
I mean, it's possible
Gross.
that Chewie gets it.
First,
I don't know.
well,
I mean, Chewie's
he's supposed to win it after.
He wins it from Lando.
Yeah.
That's,
Um,
I'm gonna clean up that's body. It's just there. So, kind of a not related note, but David, is there a Kyber crystal cave on Utapau?
Yes.
I never knew that
Yep.
until recently.
I haven't watched all those animatic episodes, but there's a
That's where
big
they go,
kyber. There's a
right.
big kyber crystal there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All new to POW. Now Bale, I'm really glad that his role got bigger, in this episode. But I feel like I wouldn't mind more stories of Bale. I think there's a lot more to be said with his character because, rightfully, he's one of the ones that started the rebellion, right?
Oh yeah.
And I really do wish they would include those deleted scenes in here.
Yeah.
With Mon Mothma and Bale and Padme.
Basically starting what would become a rebellion.
Especially now that Rogue One's out.
Yeah.
I really think they should put those scenes
Because
back
there's
in
a
here.
scene where they confronted Palpatine a little bit.
Yes.
Where, telling him like you need to give up your powers like you'd promised
Correct.
years ago.
Yep.
And Palpatine's like, no,
No.
not gonna do it. Sorry, get out of here.
And they talk about, getting senators getting senators to secretly sign this rebellion, this
Little petition.
to stop
to
him.
overthrow him, basically.
Yeah, basically to overthrow him. Yeah. So I wish those, and it's just really cool that the girl playing Mothma is the same one playing her in Rogue One. Just like Bale's the same. Jimmy Smith is the same.
Because Star Wars don't recast.
They don't recast.
They do now.
They do now, unfortunately. Yes.
Technically, they did in 7. Technically,
With what? With whom?
Chewie.
Oh,
Well,
Technically,
oh,
he
two
got
characters.
recast.
Two characters played.
but it's still
two actors.
it's
two
still
actors played him.
Chewy in his face. It's not.
Everybody always says, "Oh, Obi-Wan was recast." Yeah, but there was like a 20-year gap. So come on, and he kind of looks like him, anyways.
That's
and it's
Vader's
Hugh
recast.
McGregor. Yeah, Vader's played by like 4 people.
yeah. But
Get out of here.
That's true. It is 4 people.
Pretty much.
Yeah. James Earl
1, 2.
Jones.
Prowse.
The guy that's the
The guy played him in
Rogue One.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's 5.
No.
The guy that was in the suit
Rogue One
in the original
suit.
trilogy.
David Prowse.
David Prowse.
Yeah. The
Sebastian Shaw.
Sebastian Shaw played Anakin, but
yeah.
Vader.
okay. So yeah,
That's 2, and then James Earl Jones is 3.
And Hayden.
Hayden is 4,
Hayden's 4. Is it not the guy in?
and the guy in Rogue One is 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Okay.
5,
yeah.
5. Yep. 5.
Just don't give me that. They don't recast crap.
TV.
Well,
On the surface.
but there's Tanta V4, right?
Yeah.
Basically,
Yep.
which I thought was pretty neat, bringing that back.
Absolutely.
I love the fact that he was in Rogue One.
That was great.
Totally.
Great choice.
I think that was
comes out of the
fantastic.
darkness.
A great nod connecting the prequels to the originals, because that really hadn't happened so far in the 2 new films that we've gotten. Although we heard Ewan's voice in Force Awakens, which was fantastic. Hey, there's some guys.
Wait, is that the so?
Mustafar, you learned
Another
something new.
thing I learned about Mustafar in Dark Disciple is there's actually a civilization there and a town in a city.
These aren't just guys that just come to this planet to work. There's actual inhabitants of this planet.
There's actual people that live there,
Citizens of Mustafar.
and there's a bar there and
Yeah.
everything. It's like
Where
what?
do you live? I live in Mustafar.
Mustafar. I thought it was just this factory that mined the lava,
like the-
but no. There's actually people
It's
that
like the mud planet in Firefly. There's people that live there.
it blew me away because they went there looking for somebody at a bar, and I'm like, Mustafar? But it's operated by, at least at that point, it was, well, at this point, I guess it's still operated by Black Sun,
Yeah.
which is a big
See, I
crime
thought
syndicate.
he was going to be on Mustafar in Rogue One.
He was on Mustafar.
Was he?
The castle was.
That castle was on
castle.
Mustafar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Mustafar.
When he's in the tank?
Yes.
Yeah, which we're
Okay.
supposed to see more of at some point.
That is
We'll
Mustafar.
see.
Yep.
And there's Boba
That's-
Fett driving the
You know,
shuttle.
it's Jeremy Bullock.
That's the
Boba
guy
Fett. The guy who played Boba
Oh,
Fett in
really?
the original trilogy.
Original Boba Fett.
Yeah, he's the one
funny.
in the white hair driving there. Yeah.
This is good. Scene coming up. Oh, they're fighting the clones outside.
So, oh yes,
That's
oh
cool.
gosh, yeah, that was really cool. But you would think there would be like some kind of camera, like
So they could see him.
Sidious,
Yeah.
or Palpatine. There's some Jedi's outside here. Take a
Yeah.
look at this. You know, it's like
Yeah. No. Guess
they're not really hiding the fact that
Guess
they're
not.
there. You know, but
R2
um,
always lands on his feet.
then he tells
So
them to
you
stay.
were talking about
Yeah.
the whole thing about their memories being wiped,
Yeah.
and then them mentioning what there was something that came out from Star Wars recently, and they redacted it almost immediately.
Oh, the C-3PO thing.
The C-3PO thing.
Yeah, we actually didn't talk about that on the show. We're going to.
Well,
We'll talk about that in episode 4. We'll have to mention that in
they
our
took it back
commentary.
because people thought it was
Well,
It got
politically
controversial.
incorrect or something like that. I was
Well,
like,
whatever.
Little baby mouse droids. Oh.
But didn't it also kind of break canon too?
No, it just added a weird wrinkle kind of into canon in a way, which it was. Yeah, it was a little strange, but we'll definitely have to hit on that in our episode 4 commentary because it's
Yeah.
it was. But yeah, now it's I guess not a thing anymore. Oh, I love that.
that's awesome.
Great.
Because R2
Shot.
remembers that.
Oh, he remembers everything.
But he doesn't really care.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't know the significance of it. That's the
Yeah.
thing. He's
Right.
like, he has knowledge, but they're not like artificial intelligence. They don't have, you know what I mean? They're programmed still. There's no sentient feeling or like a feeling of loss or anger. They just know things.
Yeah.
And they just know things what they're programmed to know, and that's it.
That's what you think.
Right. Well,
He's been plotting.
you remember that scene where, what is it? Where's that from? Is it episode 2? Yeah, episode 2, when he says, well, if droids can think,
Yeah.
we'd all be in trouble, right? He says that to
there'd be none of
that.
us here, wouldn't there?
Yeah.
There'd be none of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he becomes alive again when they finally find
R2 alive.
when they finally find the missing piece.
Again,
of the
he was
map.
triggered. He was triggered.
Yeah.
There's something there.
Again, that's why the whole C-3PO was a trigger.
Yeah.
They say it was a trigger.
It's like a protocol
Yep.
thing.
So anyway, all the Jedi are dead. Killed by a lightsaber. They were.
Did he actually swing it? He just lit it. Did he bring it up
Bring what up?
when he's in that scene when he's
With
about
the
to
kids?
kill the younglings?
No, he just holds it out.
He just holds it out.
He just holds it out. He doesn't lift it up.
No.
I think it would have been
Gosh,
so
that
much.
would've been
I think
so
that would have
rough.
been cool if they
It
would
might
have
have.
lifted it up.
I really would have pushed the PG-13.
Might have
rating.
got an R rating there.
Yeah, maybe.
So this is Empire Day,
beautiful.
basically, right?
Yep.
This is Empire Day, the birth of the Empire, right here.
Empire Day.
At the time, you don't know it's called that.
So
In
is that the
fact-
same species as Thrawn?
No, it's good.
Okay.
No,
Patient of it now.
Thrawn is. I don't know what. I can't remember what that
Chiss.
species is. Thrawn is his chiss, but I
Chiss.
don't know what Masamita is.
Okay.
He's the only one we've seen a chiss. Yeah, I don't know what Masamita is. Ooh, his eyes. He's got those eyes.
Yeah, Masamita is like always there, and he's even in the books, and he's just you can't get rid of that guy.
He's not as scary in the books as you think he is here.
Right.
In the books, he's kind of a...
So arguably, there's an argument here that Vader is stronger here than he is down the road
Yeah.
That is fact.
Yeah.
because
he is.
his limbs.
Correct.
He
I did not
lost-
know that the Force travels through your limbs.
Well,
it's
it's in your
Through
blood.
But
It's in your
yeah.
blood.
if you have less blood, then you've.
Well, it's the thing, though. It's still a little hairy. I feel like a little bit because obviously Yoda is smaller. You know, he's got less blood, you would think, but he's more powerful in the Force.
He's got more midi
More
chlorian
midichlorian count in his bloodstream. So
Okay.
the proportion of midichlorians in your blood, it's not like one blood cell always has like 5 midichlorians or something like that. You know,
Right.
It's
Right.
it just depends. But that's just where the midichlorians just live. Regardless of how many you have, that's just where they live. But yes, he lost his limbs, which means lost a lot of blood, so lost a lot of midichlorians, lost a lot of the ability to communicate with the Force. So there is some science there, but still, it's still.
So why hasn't there been a Sith out there yet that uses blood transfusion to pump up their
Well, there's
their
probably
midichlorian count?
I would answer the way Pablo would answer in a sense where it was like, well, it just doesn't work like that.
Well, old EU, that's what Dooku tried to do with Sifo Dyas' blood with Grievous.
Oh, that's
Old
right.
EU,
That's right. He did.
Count Dooku preserved Master Sifo Dyas' body and tried to transfer his blood into Grievous to give him the ability of the Force, but it never worked.
And to give him premonition.
Yeah.
Because that's what my Cephalus
But
had.
yes, but it never worked. So
Never worked.
Yeah, that
Right, but that's to someone that doesn't have the Force.
That never had
You
the
do
Force
it
to begin
someone
with.
that does have the
maybe.
Force.
That's a good experiment.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah, Pablo.
Again,
yeah.
it probably doesn't mix well. That's probably what Pablo would say. But
Yeah.
maybe not. I don't know. Maybe not. So we're
I can
about to
see
get.
Kylo doing something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But he's got Skywalker blood. He's already
That's Skywalker
Yeah.
blood, though.
he's already powerful. So we're getting ready to get into
He looks great.
the two biggest scenes. I mean, literally what you're wanting to see ever since the prequels got announced.
Yeah.
The fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin, or Vader and Obi-Wan. Because he is Darth Vader now. He's not Anakin Skywalker.
Yoda looks the
anymore.
best there I think he ever has.
Yeah.
Yoda looks fantastic.
He killed Anakin.
Who? Vader?
Vader.
Vader betrayed and murdered him.
Betrayed
Yes.
and murdered his father.
I remember I got into such a huge fight with my oldest friend. I've been best friends with him since I was 2 years old. And I remember like watching episode 4 and like hanging out with him and talking to him about it. And he was like, well, Vader's Luke's father. And I was like, no. Vader betrayed and murdered
Yeah.
Luke's father. And like
wow.
and we got into the biggest argument. And then I went home and watched episode 5 and I was like, oh. No. Okay. I'm glad I didn't get that spoiler when he
Hilarious.
was talking to me about it,
Yeah.
though.
You just thought he was mistaken. Like, no.
I was like, dude,
idiot.
you're stupid.
Did you miss that scene?
The dumbest guy on the planet.
Just a little
So
side note. I bet you her rent of that apartment is so expensive.
probably.
It's like the best view.
Yeah.
She's retired royalty, though.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, that's got to cost you a
probably a low electric bill.
few thousand.
she's
You know,
nice
probably about
breeze coming
10,000
through.
credits a month.
She's
is what
the
I'm
Nice
thinking.
breeze
Princess
coming
Di
Princess, yeah.
of the Star Wars universe.
Totes, I'll be pregnant though. I mean, you can't hide that.
But it does. It's a little weird that there's. I
Princess Di
feel
was
like there's
pretty
no
good.
wind at all in Coruscant.
I don't want to get into that.
There's no wind in Coruscant.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway,
Anyways,
if I lived in Coruscant, that's where I would live. That's all I gotta say. I love that. Love that place.
I don't know if I could live here.
You can live in Coruscant.
I don't know. It's a little too yuppie for me.
Oh, well.
I don't know.
It's like living in. I guess it'd be like living
I
in
might
New
be
York
more of a
or
Dagobah kind of
Chicago
guy.
or something.
Dagobah, oh jeez,
I mean,
swampy, too probably muggy.
oh, it's fun. It's funny too because I got to throw this out there, Case. In Dark Disciple, Quinlan Voss secretly, when he's getting away from his mission to secretly give updates to Obi-Wan, they meet in a bar on 1313,
Oh, sweet.
level 1313. Which there was going to be a Star Wars game called Level 1313, or just
Okay.
called 1313, but it was like the underground because you know that Coruscant is like 5,000 levels.
No.
Yeah,
I figure it's pretty tall.
it's 5,000
But, like,
levels.
at
It's
the-
like 5,200.
When you go at
something.
the bottom of the skyscrapers, there's shafts that go into the lower levels
Lower
of the
levels.
planet. So you have the surface, and then you have the lower levels
Gotcha.
below the
Yeah.
surface. And it's just crazy though. It's crazy to think about the.
Yeah, there's kind of a plateau down there a little bit, and there's big old circular
Yeah.
shafts, like
Yeah.
you said, that goes down into the
Well,
lower
it's just
levels.
weird because you got to think how big is the actual surface? I mean, I don't know how they.
How big is the actual planet?
big is
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
I don't know.
They
It's
really
probably this big, and then it's like now
Yeah.
it's like this.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible. Yeah, the whole planet's just built up.
Once again, Obi-Wan being
Somehow.
sneaky.
But yeah, I guess you could probably figure it out. Does a level, basically how deep is a level?
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
you got to think again too because there are still exposed surfaces like Earth
Yes.
surfaces of Coruscant. Like there's like learning Catalyst. There's an actual like mountain range and like a plateau,
Right.
where it's used as a reservation for a species. So there are parts of Coruscant where it's not covered by technology or
Yes.
industry. It's actual Earth. So it must
Yeah.
be like I don't know. I just can't think of that to draw it out. But it's great. I just want to know the makeup of the planet. I want to see like a map of the planet.
I would like to see that. Sure.
Might exist. Maybe it's in that Atlas Star Wars Encyclopedia. I don't know. Anywho.
I do got to pick me up on the encyclopedia. The latest one.
Dead bodies around him. You just kind of stand in the middle of. Just don't care.
So now that we're getting the battles going here, the Yoda, Yoda Sidious. We see how that plays out, because I wanted to talk about that before we get into the Obi-Wan Anakin battle. But Sidious, Yoda. Is Sidious, since Yoda couldn't technically defeat him, is Sidious that powerful?
I think Yoda will have eventually beaten him.
Really?
I think he got the upper hand one too many times. I mean, we'll see. Sidious was scared. He tried to run from Yoda. I think he would have gotten him eventually. But no, it was just how it happened. Just, I guess Sidious had the high ground. I don't know, but the way it ended up, Yoda felt like he lost the upper hand. It would not have won. Have you seen? Another side note on this. Do you ever watch the MTV Movie Awards with Jimmy Fallon?
Yes.
With this spoof.
Yeah.
Have you seen that, Anthony?
I did.
I'll have to watch it if you haven't
Like
seen
a
it.
long time ago.
It's the funniest thing. Where Jimmy Fallon is basically Anakin Skywalker, and they placed him in this scene, and he's just kind of like ad-libbing to it. It is the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Very clever.
So what do you think? You think Sidious is?
I don't know. I have to see it.
Yeah.
I have to see it again in order to make that judgment call.
I mean,
Because I think Yoda's probably more powerful with raw talent. Like we were saying, like the midichlorian count.
Yeah.
But Sidious is using the dark side, which probably gives him a little bit
Maybe.
more.
So you think this dark side's more powerful?
I'm not saying it's. I think that if Yoda was on the dark side, he'd be like unstoppable.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think
That's-
that the dark side definitely gives you an added
That's
edge.
so funny you mentioned that. I always go back to the old EU. There's an old EU book called Dark Rendezvous with Yoda. It's about Yoda and Dooku. And there's a scene where Dooku tries to tempt Yoda to the dark side. And Yoda like stops him and she's like, you don't even want to try to tempt me, because if I were to turn, and he goes on he actually shows him, gives him a glimpse of vision of what it would look like.
What is that in?
Dark Rendezvous.
Oh man!
And like Yoda describes him and shows him a vision of what it would look like, and it's like the worst thing you can ever imagine. So do not even I don't, just for the sake of the safety of the galaxy, don't tempt me to the dark side, because I would not be good for it.
That is true though.
And I guess we got a little glimpse of what he could be in Clone Wars. There was that episode where part of becoming one
Dark
with the Force,
Yoda.
he went through a trial where he got a vision of Dark Yoda, and it was like
Yoda.
a gremlin looking kind of version of Yoda. It was
you
pretty
don't want
strange.
to get Yoda wet or feed him after midnight.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that.
That's so funny.
No, but it's that's I never thought of it that way, but I just feel like Palpatine, because he doesn't come from, at least what we know about him, he doesn't come from, Force sensitive parents necessarily. What we don't know about, so somehow Plagueis saw something in him to now again in an EU book, Darth Plagueis, you actually find out that Palpatine, the old EU book, that Palpatine murdered like his entire family. But again, that's not canon, so you don't really know really about his background fully yet. But somehow he caught the eye of Plagueis and enough to turn him and become his apprentice, and then eventually. So, how powerful is it's funny is you bring up is dark side more powerful. I keep thinking of that line from Yoda. Like Luke's like, is the dark side more powerful? He's like, and right away he says no. Almost to say no, or to convince him right away that it's not. Even though
It's
maybe
like, don't even go there because you would destroy this place.
He says more easy,
Yeah.
but he says it's more easy, more seductive.
Whatever.
Yeah, but maybe it is. Maybe it is.
It's still.
It's.
Even again, reading the new Vader comic, hearing Vader talk about the dark side, he believes it's more powerful.
Yes, he does.
He's the guy that has been on both sides, and he thinks Dark side
See, I don't
powerful.
like this. I don't like
That
how
shot.
they're both in focus.
Yeah, well, 'cause it's
Yeah.
fake digital
I know.
green screen crap.
That's
yeah.
the downside to doing this stuff.
But it's kind of I don't know if it's a better version.
But I think that was just a choice, a director's choice. He wanted
sure.
to see.
Oh yeah. I mean,
So it's like
so you don't have to rack back.
you
and
don't just
forth.
rack. Yeah.
But in the
Yeah.
older like '90s movies or '80s movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
but that
would get
could
a shot
very
like
well
that.
just be him, Anakin on green.
Oh yeah, no, it probably.
And
is.
then
Yeah,
the
Obi-Wan on
scene
green.
the scene of Obi-Wan behind him,
Yeah.
like superimposed,
yeah, it probably was. I feel like it was filmed at 2 different times.
which I think is a directing mistake. Like on the most powerful scene of the movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you want those two actors on set
Love
together.
that. Boom. Just
Well,
hey, what's up?
get out.
But
of
you
here.
notice
Rogard.
in older films when they try to do a shot like that, I think they do. Maybe they do. I don't know how they do it, but you always see shots like that where someone's far back, someone's close up, and there's like a weird blurry kind of
Yes,
in
in the
between.
middle, in between.
Yeah, so it's a better. I don't know. You can say better version of that kind of a shot, but yeah, I don't know. It kind of has pros and cons.
I don't know,
You don't get that weird visual
I
look,
like-
but it
I
still
like
looks
depth.
kind of strange.
but I think it could have worked if they actually used a wide lens
Yeah.
and like Anakin's face is a little distorted, and then you also see
Why was he
Obi-Wan
shocked
in
about
focus
that?
back there.
Come on, man. Doo-doo-doo.
That shot looks so real too, guys. This looks so
It's the
good.
best. It's the coolest. Oh, this is the coolest fight.
So this fight
Just
Hello there.
did it
Hello
not
there.
did
Hello
it
there.
not did it not live up to the expectations? Or
Oh yeah, it's
mean-
it's incredible. Like seeing the behind the scenes of this choreography, like these two guys are just, going at it.
now, do you think they truly are trying to kill each other? Like,
Maybe
really?
Obi-Wan might
You know
not
what I
be at
mean?
this
I don't
point.
think Obi-Wan is.
He seems pretty defensive.
think
He keeps
so?
backing up, so he's
Yeah. Now, this was an interesting part. Hayden Christensen, and I don't know why this is the scene that made me think of it, but he said during Celebration that like they had to keep coming up to him and be like, "You're making the sounds of the lightsaber
Yeah.
with your mouth
yeah.
while you're
Yeah,
fighting."
I would do that
And
too.
like it was a habit he had to
Yeah.
break. I thought that was so funny because I don't think I would probably do the same
oh,
thing.
absolutely.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like not even notice that I was doing it.
I would do that too, like just in case of shooting like a blasters. I would probably still go pew 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 pew. Gotcha. Oh, see, like he tries to run,
He does try to run.
and he calls him out on it. Why run? Oh, why leave? Yeah. Oh.
Oh yeah.
See, that's the confusing thing to me. Is Yoda always seems so angry,
Yeah. He's serious,
but he's on the light
Very
side,
stern.
of course.
stern and serious.
So does he actually have the saber in his sleeve, or is it like on his belt, and he just comes all the way up?
He didn't sleep.
I think it's actually on his belt.
How's he
and he
get to
comes-
his cloak?
He
His
just
little access.
tiny
he just
arms.
moves it,
He's got a little tiny
moves it,
light.
uses the
We'll have to
force,
watch it.
and
We'll have to watch it
all
frame-
the way through.
frame by frame, maybe. Let's
Yeah.
see. It's like, what are you laughing at? Stop laughing. So what happened? Something had to happen here where he's got. Well, let's see.
Now
He
you-
lost
no.
his lightsaber.
Again.
Yeah, well,
There.
There's a continuity. Yeah.
There's a continuity issue.
But,
there.
um,
yes,
That
That's
might
not-
be why they decided to cut
there's a continuity issue.
these
there.
two scenes together.
Actually, this is the first time I actually noticed that continuity error. I knew there was something wrong, but I just saw it for the first time.
Aha.
That looked pretty fake to me.
Oh yeah. There's definitely a drawback like in these complete CGI sets. You just kind of.
I love that. Yoda just
So now Anakin has a different lightsaber.
no.
Not yet.
He's got the Rey saber. The Rey and Luke
No,
lightsaber right
it's
now.
his saber.
Okay.
Yeah, the one that is traditionally throughout.
Yeah.
He's had it since the Clone Wars. That's the same
Right.
one.
Same
Okay.
episode too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you were saying, isn't he supposed to get a new one now?
After he's lost this one, he goes and gets a new one. Which
Right,
is
but
in the
traditionally, if you turn,
Yeah, you turn. Yeah,
You're
it's-
supposed to get a new-
That seems like it. Yeah, you steal one.
That's a big question though. If he still had that one,
Would it have turned red?
would it have turned red,
That
or
is
would
still-
Vader, or would have Palpatine still taken it and said, "Go find one"?
That's that's a good question.
Because the way he sounds like in the comic, he
Yeah, that's something,
he
right.
says you need to go find and grab someone else's saber in order
Yeah.
to will it to your bidding.
He still made the analogy that when a Jedi has to build their lightsaber, right? Did he make that analogy in the COD? I'll go back and look. But I thought maybe Palpatine might have said something like that. But very much like how a Jedi has to go build a lightsaber.
You have to go take one.
Take one.
So I feel like he would have not
scene-
let him use that one anyway. Yeah.
I definitely think that shot when they were both doing this motion,
Yeah.
doing the force push against each other. If you pay attention to the scene, right, I'm pretty sure those are the same exact set pieces, and they just mirrored the image of both Obi-Wan falling on the control the console, and then Vader falling on the console.
I love this part here when Yoda catches this.
Yeah, I like this little head turn. Like, Palpatine's like, okay. Like he's just like, oh, I see what you're doing. at the end when he throws it back at him is what I love.
Yeah.
It's just imagine this with no music. Huh? Okay, I see. Then he gets mad. No, imagine this.
Yeah,
because
see there, like Yoda caught that.
Yeah.
So
he overpowers him here. Like, but it just so happens that he fell down.
now is Force Lightning only a dark side thing?
Absolutely.
Yes, only a dark side.
That's why
thing.
I can't use the card in Destiny.
Like that shot. Oh, I love this.
You can see it doesn't touch. It's not actually touching him. It's not touching Yoda. See that? See, it's like
it's
like
this is
force
the
fielding
thing.
it.
Like they both blew away. He overpowered him, but it just happens that he fell
Yeah.
down there, and he had something to hold on to.
See, and that's why I think that dark side might be a little bit stronger. Oh gosh,
Yeah. It's
nails on a chalkboard.
like if Yoda had not been blown back, if he had also grabbed onto a little rail, like what would have happened? You know, would the fight just kept going? Would Yoda have won? It's hard to say. But I think he would have.
And see, I wonder if he looks at that, his cloak as almost like symbolism. Like, okay, you got, I that's it.
Maybe he saw.
That's me. I'm defeated. I need to go. You know, because for some reason it's like, I mean, I'm not fully. I've never really fully bought the. I'm exiling myself.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean. It's like
No, absolutely.
you're
Maybe
just
realizes
buying
that
your time.
To
is what
stop
you're doing.
it, he has to kill him, and he's not willing to do that.
Maybe he really. Maybe
Or he
realizes,
feels he can't.
Like you said, Dave. Maybe he realizes, he has to tap into the dark side to do it, and he can't do that. So
Yes.
that's probably what Pablo would say. Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, claustrophobic. Oh, I can't do that.
Man.
He sounds like,
Andy Dufresne.
yeah. I was just on my way to the store, man. Get some chicken wings.
There's shock troopers right there. The red
Yep.
shock troopers.
So is Masamita that tall, or is Palpatine that short,
Masami is a big guy.
or is he just standing on something?
Towering. No, he's big. He's big. They mention in the books every time they see him. They're like, he's
Yeah.
a very intimidating,
Tall guy.
big person.
Oh yeah.
No, this is. I mean,
Still going.
this thing goes for a good 20 or so minutes. I think
Yeah.
20, 25 minutes. I think is this battle.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's.
This
Oh,
thing is
shut up.
poorly designed. If that's destroying bridges,
well, you remember-
Shield. Yeah, remember they sliced on
sliced the shields off.
console.
okay.
But I agree.
Yeah.
It's like
That's why it started going
build
because
this place in the worst area possible, but that's why you got the shields.
hey, there's money there. They mine
Guess
the
so.
lava and
Yeah.
they make money from it.
I guess so.
Hot car.
Elements and materials are very big in Star Wars.
I'm gonna go on a dune buggy ride through an active volcano on my honeymoon. So
Yeah.
I want to be.
Yeah.
We have to be aware that I don't.
Don't fight Maggie.
But it's just crazy.
I
to
have the
think-
high ground.
It's just crazy to
Just look
think,
at you.
though. Still, I think back in the '80s when I'm like, you just envisioned this
Sweet
battle on the
Corvette
lava
he's got.
planet.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
because you always heard about a fight on a lava planet.
that's all you ever heard was they fought on a lava planet, and that's why he's half machine, half man, is because he got
Yeah.
burnt up and all this stuff, and to actually start seeing it, nearly 28 years later, right?
From
From
83?
episode 6. I mean, from episode 4,
22. Oh yeah, 28. Yeah.
almost 30 years, right?
Yeah.
2007 was 30 years.
Yeah.
So, nearly 30 years later, you get the battle.
Gosh. That's just I can't. At some point, I would have just given up. Like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Hiya.
Like, quit fighting me. I'm trying to get to land here, man.
Yeah.
Both gonna
You know,
die. Oh, such a good
He could have ended right there.
Yeah.
He could have landed
Slips.
right. Oh, man.
no.
Yeah.
Look
And
at this.
Anakin, too. He, like,
Oh, this is so crazy how you can
Yeah.
just make this. And that's the thing, like, you know, about Anakin Skywalker through the Clone Wars we saw, and through the comics and through Rebels we see how Anakin / Vader is he's just so good. He's a good pilot. He's a good fighter. He can do.
I would
so
argue
many-
that he's not the best pilot.
Oh, yeah.
Every single ship he's in, it crashes.
It's close.
what do you mean?
Almost every single
Anakin?
ship. Yeah, almost every single ship he's in, almost it crashes. Now, granted, he does.
Wait,
great
the first
crash
one, he
landings.
doesn't crash it. Episode 1, he doesn't crash it.
So on.
Episode
Crushes it.
2, I don't
Two.
think he... 2, he does not really
He,
in a
he
pilot.
overheats it. Overheats the one for episode 1 and slides into the trade.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like, anyways, like, he's such an ace at everything he does, and
Right.
you know, besides here in his way he fights, he's very skilled. But like his piloting skills, you don't get that very often. But I like that where he just jumps off that thing. It's like, oh, that's such an amazing feat. Like you don't see that from him very often.
I love Obi-Wan's like the denial here.
Yeah,
Point of
Like,
view.
here's
See,
the
he
point.
said
He
point
just-
of view right there.
He just
I
thinks
think you're lost.
Well, he thinks he can, like, he's talking to Vader as if he's talking to Anakin, and he's not
Yeah.
talking to Anakin anymore.
No, you're right.
Like, but he's so in denial that that's not, that
But
it's Vader.
he kind of is acting as Anakin because he just said, "This is the end for you, my master."
Yeah,
So he's teetering because there's still some good in him.
Using that, or he's using that
yeah.
to keep
I think he
Obi-Wan
just might be being
like weak.
cheeky with it.
Yeah.
Just saying, my master. Like,
I have the high ground.
oh, okay, sorry.
So why doesn't he just jump low and then
Yeah.
just walk up?
Let
And,
me step
and
off
fight
this
him?
2-foot gap.
Yeah.
And then I'll run up to you with my eye makeup, eye guy liner.
Oh,
boy!
Ay,
Right at the knees.
Wow, what a turn of events! Immediately regret that decision.
I'll never play basketball
Yeah.
again.
Because didn't he just jump over him on the lava? He just jumped over
Yeah,
him
he could've done that.
successfully. Because if he would jump further away, he would have
Yeah.
been fine. You know.
Push him then.
But hey, then we wouldn't have gotten
it's
Vader.
in the script.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if he would have jumped over him right then, he would like he Obi-Wan probably could have chopped him down right then, but Obi-Wan doesn't want to kill him, and he would have landed in the lava.
I just would have cut at the high ground line. Just been like, hey, Anakin, stop! It's over. Don't do this, please. I don't want to have to kill you, whatever. And then he jumps in and chops. I just would have taken the high ground line.
That's
out.
awesome. I mean, that's
Yeah, best line, best
Yeah.
delivery.
yeah.
You feel it. His eyes are
This
swollen.
this is great too
Yeah.
with him. Yeah.
Yeah, he is good performances all around. Oh, this gets worse. I would have just push him. Just
Now it's
end it.
it's
Just push
pretty.
him in.
It was I think there's on the commentary or something, the shot right before Obi-Wan says that. Did you know that? So there's an insert shot of him picking up the saber
Oh, right.
because in the original principal photography they actually forgot to get that shot,
Oh, really?
so they reshot as a pickup of him. It wasn't even you, obviously Ewan, somebody else picking up that saber to make sure they acknowledge that he did grab the
he's got
saber
it, 'cause
Yeah.
and he has it.
salute, right?
Correct. Yeah. So.
R2. What just happened down there?
Yeah, where's Anakin?
I was like, what the hell?
Oh, okay, whatever.
So Obi-Wan obviously washed his clothes by the time you see him as a 4.
It's like a superhero. He's got the closet of all the same
Yeah.
outfits. You know,
Yeah.
cartoon
That's right.
character.
Yeah, because he's got some burn marks and all
he's
that.
the only one that keeps the robe, right? Because Yoda loses the robe.
Yoda loses the robe, but Yoda still he gets another.
He has
Kind
to
of
make
robe.
another robe because he has one in
He
Empire.
has
So
one
it's
in Empire.
it's
That's
Ran
ratty.
bamboo on Dagobah.
Yeah, you see for about 5 of those years he's been exiled. He was carefully manually just
Yeah.
whittling that robe.
Stripping down
Yeah, gosh, it's taking forever.
bamboo and just looming it together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Dorito fingers.
Dorito fingers.
You've seen those new? They have new finger gloves for Cheetos.
What?
They're ridiculous.
That's cute.
That's what our society has come to.
No. Yeah. So epic battle to an end. Now we get the start
So
of
his arm is the only thing that's kept him alive.
Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Because basically, if he doesn't have that arm,
He can't crawl up.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
because the rest of him is burned away.
Oh,
He
he's
just like
he's
wasn't he
pretty much
passed
dead.
out from the
Yeah.
pain? I guess he gets power from the pain, maybe because of the dark side. I don't know.
I guess.
I
Well, just like
know.
Maul, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Maul survived half his
Nuts.
body.
And Sith, they just hold on to the will to live. They
Yeah.
don't believe in afterlife, so he's just like he just does not want to die.
Yeah.
Whoops, little chapped.
That would be crazy if
He's still
they
alive.
had Force ghosts for Sith.
Yeah. That'd be pretty cool. This is a good little shot. I
I
love this
think we might
shot.
see
It's a good
Anakin
shot of
again.
him, like, actually,
This
you know,
right here. Yeah.
standing
Oh, I
next to
love it.
him because
Look, he looks like death. That's kind of like
Yes.
it's just the white, the black. It's so.
very true. Very true.
Don't touch him.
And at this
Don't
point-
touch him. Oh.
Again,
That's gotta hurt, man.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
what's crazy, what's a little crazy to think, too, at this point, I mean, that the Empire is now.
Yeah.
Like, he is
It's
the
the
emperor.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Empire at this point right now. This is now again in the book.
So yeah.
He's talking to Qui-Gon here.
Yep.
He's hearing Qui-Gon's voice, and in fact, that was part of a deleted scene.
Really?
Yeah, that
What was
Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon saying? Because Qui-Gon always fought with Yoda.
Well, Qui-Gon had his own thoughts about things and didn't want to go fully with the council, but he's basically telling Yoda at that point that I can help you finish learning how to become a Force Ghost, basically.
Yeah.
Because as you know, right now, no one's seen that and no one knows about that.
Right.
Qui-Gon almost got there. You can hear his voice, but he can't materialize into a Force Ghost. So he's telling Yoda there that I will train you to be able to do that.
But isn't there some speculation that Qui-Gon may actually be a Force ghost now? They released that pop.
Oh, but it wasn't.
And
It
he's a
wasn't a Force
ghost.
Ghost though. We thought
It's
it
not?
was. It was a hologram.
Holographic.
Yeah, I know. I thought that too.
Yeah.
That was.
I
That
want Liam
was.
Neeson to come back.
That
so
was
much.
sad. Yeah.
They call it holographic, right? I
Yeah.
think it
Like,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, if he came back, man, I'd flip a
They'll
table.
do it.
Yeah, and
They got
that'd be
to.
total fan service, but I think they should.
That would be total fan service. Yeah.
He voiced Qui-Gon in the Clone Wars a couple times. He made an appearance in Clone Wars as a vision or whatever.
A vision, yeah. So this was, again, going back to this was a little surprising for me that, Padme dies here. Now, this is really great parallel with them both on operating tables.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was really, really good to show the differences.
Get out! Get out.
Now, again, in the first volume of the Vader comic, if you want to read that, it's about
the
the
end
guy
kind of
that is
yeah.
putting him together there. There's an actual doctor that's putting him together there.
yeah.
Okay, now wait a minute. So,
So
Does
Luke,
one of them open their eyes?
let's see. Well, he I don't
Who's
think
that?
That's
gives it to
Luke.
him, or gives it to her.
that's Luke.
I think his
Eyes are closed.
His eyes look closed.
Eyes are closed. Definitely closed.
Digitally closed. Is that how they kept the baby's eyes closed?
A baby
hard.
doesn't really open his eyes.
hard to
Baby
do.
never doesn't open his eyes that
Did
early.
she just scoop it out?
So let's see, Leia. I'm pretty sure. Let's see if this is right. Because actually, that does change my feelings about it because that would make sense to me.
Look where Bale is sitting. He's getting the whole show. Okay,
Leia.
so Leia.
Let's see.
Maybe like.
Wait. Is that what we say, Leia?
I think were her eyes open there?
I don't know. Shoot.
That didn't even look like Carrie Fisher. They're not even trying. So they recast him there
it.
too.
Yep,
That's recasted.
Yeah,
Well, that's what I'm
right.
saying. That's what I said in our podcast, our celebration show. Is this is another movie where Luke didn't say
He
a word?
definitely really looks
Yeah,
like. So they
that's right.
digitally took off his eyebrows there, correct?
There, I don't know how
Probably,
they
I
might do it
guess.
that way, yeah.
Probably.
But make it consistent.
That
because
is so awesome looking.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I mean, the first. I mean, how clean and black and sharp that is. That is freaking awesome.
You should too tight. That's what you should say. Too tight.
Yeah.
What about a
Is
size
he holding
7?
Leia? Look. Is that Leia or Luke? That's
Leia.
still Luke.
That's Leia.
That's still Luke.
No, you got Leia second, so that's Leia.
Yeah, but he was still holding Luke.
I think he was holding Luke.
Still,
Luke's already walking somewhere.
he's untouched me. I'm getting out of here.
can't be Leia because Leia would install.
We'll have to watch that. Have to watch that glimpse again because maybe baby had her eyes open. I don't know.
Dang it, yeah.
I don't know. Not
So I don't know if I buy it now.
Not definitive.
I don't know if I buy it now. And here's the rise of the Darth Vader that we all know from.
Yeah. It's good. It's good.
So So I was going to mention. So again,
He looks thinner.
You know that is Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's
I'm just
Hayden.
saying, like the helmet looks thinner.
Oh, I know.
It is a subtly different.
And
design,
the helmet part looks a little bigger.
Yeah. No, I agree. The
A little space
proportions. Yeah. Now they did a side by side comparison of all the different times we see his costume in the films, and there are like some subtle.
Really?
There are
I haven't seen that
There's
yet.
some differences between each one of them.
Now
And
that
Rogue-
one, he looks more like Episode 6.
Yeah.
Oh,
Emperor
definitely.
there too.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was alive. I felt it.
Yeah. Now the issue 1 of
So James Earl Jones definitely came back to
Yes.
do this.
the second volume of the Vader comic, issue 1, shows the moment after this scene. People think that it's actually a retcon of this scene. I strongly disagree with
I
it
strongly disagree.
because it's like
It's right
this
after
happens,
this.
and then they keep talking about
Then
it.
they keep going.
Yeah, and
Then
then
it's the next
he
scene
keeps
after
saying
that.
he keeps going no,
Yes.
and he throws the Emperor up against the wall.
Yes.
And like
Okay.
is mad
that's
at
the
him.
volume
But
2
then-
of Vader
but then
by
Emperor-
Charles Soule.
Yeah, then Emperor
read it. It's so
force
awesome.
lightnings the crap out of him.
It's funny that they've. I saw an interview with the Gareth Edwards, and he was talking about how James Earl Jones came in to do the voice. And
Yeah.
he was doing reads for it, and James Earl Jones would look at him and like he was like geeking out, and like James Earl Jones would look at him and go, "What was that read? All right?" And he was just like, "Yeah, that was great. That was
Yeah.
great." And then like he would turn around and he's just like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't give him direction. I don't know how. Yeah, it's good. Whatever
like,
you do, it's
yeah,
perfect.
just
Yeah, I don't know how I would do that.
read
Yeah.
it like The
That's-
Sandlot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Who's making all this racket?
we just took your dog.
Is it safe to say that? So every portrayal, every time we've heard Vader's voice, it has been James Earl Jones.
Not every
Rebels?
time. Rebels, yes.
Rebels is Vader. It's James Earl Jones.
Video game. I think Force Unleashed. It wasn't. I don't think it was James Jones. In Force
Well, I
Unleashed.
mean, canon.
canon stuff. Yes,
Canon.
yes. I think yes. I'm gonna say definitive.
So the movies and Rebels is all would been
That's
James Earl Jones, right?
That's so far the newest, all the new canon. So
Yeah.
yeah, because like Lego,
Yeah,
the
Rebels.
Lego,
It's
the Lego
James Earl
stuff.
Jones. No.
No.
So Yoda's got
Free
like
makers,
a new little
no.
robe here.
Yeah, he does have a little robe there.
I'm placing these droids in your care. Treat them well.
That's Captain Antilles, right?
Captain
so that's the one that.
That's not the. Is it this?
That's the same guy that gets
same character.
same one in
right?
Rogue One, I think. Right?
I think so. I thought for some reason I thought
Because he's the
it might have
master
been
now,
relative.
Captain Antilles.
Yeah. There you go. Funeral for Padme. Ooh, Padme. Let's see, because they said her belly is still. They stuffed her to make it look like she was still pregnant,
Yes.
right? So
Yep.
that the Emperor didn't think that she already had her babies.
No,
Yes.
it is possible.
Jar Jar.
Jar Jar. You did this. It is possible that they put on this whole scene to keep her safe,
Keep Padme safe.
to keep Padme safe, and to keep the kids safe.
Yeah.
And she goes with Leia
Oh,
afterwards.
you mean she's actually alive there?
Yes.
Oh.
And then
Whoa.
that's why
That
Leia
would
sees
be-
her
so,
afterwards and
okay,
has
so
memories
that would
of her.
be
What
that
a
would be
twist.
pretty crazy.
What a twist.
That would be pretty crazy.
Speculation.
So they're
You heard it here. It's
Yeah,
confirmed.
confirmed. He said it. So they're above Geonosis right now.
They are above Geonosis right now.
That's where the Death
That's
Star is
the
being
where
constructed.
Death Star is
and
being
the Death Star
built.
has been in construction for the past couple of years
It has been.
at this point.
It has been.
It
That's
didn't
why
just
it's so
start 2
far
days
along.
ago.
That's why they're saying it's
Yeah.
just kind of future down the road. No, this is that time period.
Yeah.
The Death Star has been under construction. Tarkin, it's cool because if you read the Tarkin book, he gets invited to that point, and he is basically it's under secrecy, so he doesn't know where he's going when they take him, and then he's above Geonosis though. That's where it's being built, and you find that out mainly
So it
in
was all
Rebels
Tarkin
too.
and Krennic
Yeah.
that were building
Tarkin was there for the
the
weapon.
Death Star.
Yeah, he was.
It wasn't
pretty
Vader's
hands-on.
vision. It was
No,
Tarkin and Krennic.
it was. It was Palpatine's technically. I mean, Palpatine had the plans from the Geonosians. He just tricked the Republic into starting construction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because basically they stole he's saying they stole the plans. You remember when episode 2 Dooku gave it to him? He's like, he showed it to.
So is that supposed to be Leia?
That was Luke.
That was
oh,
Leia.
sorry, Leia.
That was
yeah,
Leia.
this is Luke. Yeah.
Right.
So he gave the plans.
Her eyes were open there. I don't know.
They were open there. But he gave the plans to the Republic saying, look what the Separatists are building. We need to build it first. Mm-hmm. And so under secrecy, they started building it under Krennic and under Tarkin.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure. I can't remember when Tarkin actually found out about it, but I think he was a little later.
Okay.
But
I was thinking back in Alderaan. When are we going to see more of Alderaan? It's
I agree.
most underdeveloped. And
So is that
just-
Uncle Owen up there?
Yeah.
Uncle Owen
And
and
like-
Brew.
Man, looking like a boss.
And just
Staring
think-
into those two sunsets.
Just think of this. We would get a whole movie of this with Obi-Wan.
Correct.
And you can bring back these actors. Joel Egerton there. He's still a big, huge actor.
He is.
He's a great actor. So he said it himself. He
Maybe
would love to do
recast
it.
her.
I don't know what she does. Yeah. Who knows?
Do you like how it ended with the twin sons there? I mean,
like it.
do you like the last shot?
the
there?
And to be
Imagery.
fair, with Leia's eyes being open there, when he says, "What do you remember of your real mother?" she could be talking about her.
She's not though.
Okay.
She's not. I asked
Yeah.
Pablo that actually on Twitter, and
Yeah.
he
Okay.
responded to me.
Yeah.
He
so
knows.
maybe Padme is alive. Maybe you get that.
maybe.
Maybe you get a little bit
Yeah.
of that in the Obi-Wan movie.
Maybe. Yeah, it's possible. It's definitely possible. That actually a really good. That would be
I
a
like
really
the
good
ending
twist.
of that.
No, I love it too. I think I was wondering what is that one? Is that scene with the twin sons the one you would see, or would you have ended on a different shot?
Oh no, definitely twin sons.
Love
Because I
that.
mean, that's
Yeah.
the movie's not about Leia.
No.
It's the saga
But
of
should have
Luke.
ended with Vader and Palpatine. Should that should have been the last shot?
No, I like the ending because it ends with hope. That's the whole
Yeah.
thing. Ends with hope, ended on a high note. However, I wish they had kept or added the shot, which is in the book, of Yoda landing on Dagobah.
I totally agree.
Fan service.
Totally
sure,
agree.
But I would still have loved to see that.
Yes, totally agree.
I think you see it. I don't know if it's the last shot.
No. Sorry,
Oh,
no,
okay.
not the last shot. No, sorry. I just wish I saw it in that montage there. Absolutely no, but Binary Sons or Twin Sunset there, it's perfect.
totally would have loved to see Yoda in there. Absolutely.
John, no.
That should have happened. Again, that, and then I think the Republic scenes or whatever
The petition,
the-
of
the senator
thousand,
scenes,
whatever
yeah.
it's called.
I feel like those
Yeah.
should be in there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, so we're getting into the end here. Credit wise,
Scenes after the credits.
Yep.
Anthony, overall, what we like to ask too of our guests, where does Episode 3 fall under your ranking of all the Star Wars?
Ooh.
Out of 8.
Out of 8
including
now.
Rogue One.
Out of
Yeah.
8. Okay.
And Last Jedi hasn't come out yet because I know that's probably gonna be the best one ever.
It's probably
Let's
yeah.
see. That's 3, 4.
Trying to pull up my list.
Oh man.
Can you do
Tied-
your order? Can you do
Tied
your
for
order?
5th.
Tied for 5th. Wow.
Yeah.
Can you
So go
through
through your
them?
order.
Okay.
Starting
My
with the-
order is probably.
Starting with number 1.
My order is probably 5,
Okay. Empire.
4,
A New Hope. Okay.
6,
Oh, Jedi. Okay.
7,
Okay.
and then a tie between
This and Rogue One.
this and Rogue One.
Interesting. That's a good. That's a different one, but I like
That
it.
is different.
Yeah, I don't. And
And then what? And then 1 and 2, or 2
Actually,
and 1?
I think 2 and 1.
2 and then 1.
I'm different. 1 is my
There you
least
go.
favorite.
I'm glad someone. doesn't
1
have
is
a
my
Wow.
least favorite.
I'm glad.
Okay.
I don't mind
Great.
2 that much.
Okay.
I see. That's good.
I know that. I know that I am the minority in that.
Well, I'll say it again. I've heard it
There's
on some
some.
podcasts. It's some people's favorite one.
Episode 2.
It is episode 2 is some people's favorite Star Wars
Of the
movie.
prequels or all of them?
All of them.
All
Well,
of
I
them.
would say that those podcasts should be shut down. I'm sorry.
Because to them, it hits so many check boxes for them.
Yes.
And that's where I got the idea from. Because I was
But
listening to
it's
them
so
talk about
weak
it.
in villainry.
I agree. No, I agree. But they
Yeah,
love,
2 is at the bottom of me and Casey's.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's. I mean,
Now, have we? I think I can't remember if you've been revealing where
ours.
this.
I don't know. I think we have maybe. I'll
So
say, that's why I pulled up my list here. 'Cause
Yeah,
I always
my-
forget.
yeah, my list.
Mine just fluctuates between this one, the placement of this, and the placement of Rogue One. For me, kind of fluctuates. But
well, yeah. That's. I mean,
Yeah,
that's why I
it
said
does,
it's tied.
but-
because
so of the
mine's-
back when we had the 6 2 years ago.
yeah,
Episode 3 was my second.
Me too,
Was
yeah.
number 2.
on your
On my all-time list.
before new stuff has been come before Force
Now
Awakens
that
before.
now that the new ones are out, it's actually 3rd.
See, that's
Okay.
where I can't decide.
So what's your number one? 2, 5?
Empire.
Yeah,
by far.
It's
yeah.
hard. It's hard
Empire.
to.
Well,
yeah,
right
Empire.
now my list, I'm just gonna it probably will change later, but right now I'm saying it's number 4 on my list
Ah,
because like with Anthony, it's so close to Rogue One for me, but right now it's 4th on my list.
4th on your list. 3rd on my
Yeah.
list.
I would probably put this 5 over Rogue One.
It's fair.
I would probably put this.
That's
over
fair.
Rogue
I
One.
said it's so split for me. I thought I can.
Oh,
I
okay.
just-
I totally understand that.
See, right now, well, we're doing Rogue One next. If it's out,
It's tough.
click on
It's
it.
tough
but
to. It's
if it's not, it's coming.
yeah,
It's tough to pull this one out of from like pull Rogue One out or like match it into the trilogies because it's the first technical standalone, even though it's
Yeah.
a safe standalone.
It is, yeah.
because it wraps
Like-
into.
but there's no. But
Everything?
The biggest thing is no Jedi.
Like
no
Han
Force-
Solo is
no
definitely going to be the
Force,
first
but-
real like standalone.
Possibly.
I think
Yeah,
because
I
it's not going
kind
to really
of.
wrap into the rest of the trilogy. I mean, it might.
The only thing is that it's just connected to the main with the original 3 characters,
Whereas Rogue One was all new characters.
pretty much.
Yeah.
I want to see a conversation between Chewie and Han where Chewie's trying to explain who Yoda is to him.
Like,
He's just like, dude, I'm telling you,
It's like
this
a
is
conversation.
badass.
Oh,
And,
right,
like,
right, yeah, that'd be cool.
He's just
That'd be
like,
cool. But now I will hint a little bit at the next. That my number 2 is Rogue One. Like that's number 2 on my list.
wow.
I think Rogue One was a great movie.
I think it's great.
And I can't
just-
wait to do again. We may it
I
may
won't
be out
say-
by the
I
time
won't say what my number 2 is. I can't say that.
I can't wait to do the Rogue One commentary because we haven't done one yet for it.
No.
I'm actually
Yeah,
looking forward to that one.
I don't know. I mean, it's so hard because the other ones hold such a special. Like,
Yes. No. The nostalgic of
the.
some-
I mean,
Yeah.
the other ones hold such nostalgia for me.
yeah, absolutely.
Like 4 through 6, obviously, and then 7 just plays off nostalgia anyway.
Yeah, totally.
So, I mean, that's its whole gimmick, really.
Okay.
Between 7, I mean, I still love it, but 7 is definitely. I mean, it's a JJ thing. Like he plays on that.
Yeah,
He-
absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
It
Super
was a
8, same kind of thing.
Safe reintroduction
Yes,
of the franchise.
absolutely.
Well, that'll do it for the episode 3 commentary. Thank you so much, Anthony,
Thank you for having me.
for
I had a
hanging out
blast.
with us. Hope we hit on some big topics there for you. Again, this is our journey to Star Wars The Last Jedi coming this December. Every month we're putting out these commentaries and these trailers. Go check out the fan trailer if you haven't already that we made for episode 3. This is the month of August. So next month in September, you're getting 2 films because we got to
Oh,
double
yeah.
up one of them. But
Maybe
Rogue
so.
One and A New Hope is
Yeah.
kind of together. So we'll be putting out 2 commentaries next month in September. And of course, October we'll start episode 5, November episode 6, and then right before episode 8 comes out, we'll do an episode 7, Force Awakens commentary.
Yep.
And next up will be Jeb.
Jeb's
Jeb's
gonna
going to
be
do
right
Rogue One,
Oh, okay.
here. Yeah.
and
That's
Russell,
probably a good one for Jeb to come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
I would say.
and then Russell will do episode 4.
Okay,
So
that's a good choice for episode 4 too. man.
yeah,
Who's
Look
doing
for
episode?
those.
Is Cody doing? He's doing 6.
He's doing
7.
7.
Oh, he's doing
Yeah.
7.
Chad's
Okay.
doing 5,
Okay.
and then D House is doing 6.
Okay.
So it's all Star Wars guys
Those are
that
all
are
pretty
part
good
of the
choices
community.
Yeah.
for those.
Yeah.
Good. I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Kind of
I would say
evened out,
I'm
evened
very
out, I
excited
think,
about
right?
the
So,
next batch.
all right, guys, InsideTheForce.com for everything. Look for the weekly podcast on the website. Of course, go to InsideTheForce.com, subscribe all over the interwebs, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, Google Play. We're all over the place. we'll get Anthony on the show at some point very soon to follow up on a lot of stuff that came up in this commentary. So hit him up on Twitter at
Anthony Snuggle.
Anthony Snuggle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instagram is Cinesnugs.
That's right.
I'm more of
Cinesnugs.
a Instagrammer.
And he's a snuggler.
Yes.
And congrats on your recent engagement.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
Yeah. So Star Wars themed wedding or no?
I don't know. It's
Maggie would
fall under
love
March
that.
Madness, so it might be a March Madness themed
Right.
wedding.
Okay,
So
good,
who knows?
good.
I don't know. I'll see if she'll walk down the aisle to
Imperial March.
to Vader's theme.
That'd be awesome. That would be awesome. I got the suit for you, man.
Yep.
The Star
Oh
Trooper
yeah.
suit.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. Hit subscribe for more videos from Casey and I. And again, look for the weekly podcast on InsideTheForce.com. For Casey,
Goodbye, everybody.
for Anthony,
See ya.
I'm Dave. May the Force be with you.